Welcome, distinguished speakers and panelists, to the Series 05 of Goge Africa Web Conference on Cross-Sectoral Collaboration for Tourism and Economic Development. I guess I'm not, but I can't see myself. All right. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, distinguished speakers and panelists, to Series 05 of Goge Africa Web Conference on Cross-Sectoral Collaboration for Tourism and Economic Development. Participants from Africa and other time zones are also welcome. We appreciate your commitment. My name is Isaac Moses, and I am the CEO of Goge Africa Worldwide Limited, the conveners of this web conference. It's our 20th anniversary project, and the aim is to direct and promote domestic tourism and foreign direct investment into Africa. Today is Series 05. The speakers are here. The panelists are all set, and our wonderful participants are logged on in their numbers. So let's get started. But before we do, I'll let Neka take you through the flow of events. Neka?
We can't hear Neka.
Could you unmute yourself, Neka?
Goodness.
Yes.
You can.
Hello?
Hello?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
All right,
Wow.
You're good now. Yeah.
All right. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. But I'll start first by saying a big welcome to His Excellency, Ambassador. Let me try it again. Ambassador Azanau Tadesse Abreha. Did I get that right? Okay. And of course, other distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to first of all introduce you to the team. We have Nena Fakoya Smith. Nena, are you there?
Nena?
Yes, ma'am, I'm there. Good afternoon, everyone.
All right. You're in charge of
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're in charge of the chat room. So just let us know what's going on there.
And also
Give
lay
us
the
the
ground
house
rules. Mm-hmm.
All right, ma'am.
I can hear you. Okay, Nena, while you're trying to unmute yourself, let me quickly introduce our distinguished speakers. The first person will be His Excellency Ambassador Azanau Tadesse Abreha. He's from Ethiopia. He's the Ethiopian ambassador to Nigeria. The second speaker is Mr. Ashaleu Tadesse, Director of Ethiopian Tourism Commission. He's a director there, I think, for marketing. And our third speaker would be Stella Fubara Obinwa. She's the Director of International Operations and at Dubai Tourism. We also have Tekiso Ralolojan, Regional Head, West Africa, South Africa. He's in charge of West Africa Hub for South Africa Tourism. We have our fifth speaker, Mr. Ibo Koko. He's the DG CEO, Rivers State Tourism Development Agency. And we have Honorable Adebisi Obawole. He's the Commissioner, Osho State Tourism. We have Didier Bayeye. He is the manager in charge of Africa. He's an African tourism expert and manager, Africa, Middle East, and at Sun International. We also have in the house Efetobo Alhana. He's the founder of Nigerian Travel Week. And Princess Ime Udo, the managing director of Leadway Tours. We also have Sonto Mbonabe from South Africa. She's the managing director of Nando Tours, Travel and Tours. She's a South African tour operator. And that's it for the introduction. Nina, if you just lay down the house rules for us so we can get started.
Okay, good day, everyone. Welcome to the Goge Africa online conference today. Please kindly adhere to the house rule. One, all questions should be directed to the chat room. And please ensure you indicate the speaker you want the question for. Then the second one, if you'd like to connect to any of the speakers, please send an email to conference@gogeafrica.tv. Do enjoy today's conference, everyone.
Thank you. So, without wasting further time, we're going to cede the floor to His Excellency Ambassador Ahmed Tadesse, Ambassador Tadesse Abraha of Nigeria's ambassador to Nigeria, Ethiopian ambassador to Nigeria. Ethiopia's ambassador to Nigeria. You're welcome on board, sir. The floor is yours. Though virtual.
Thank you. Hermela is a fan of you too, Goge.
Yes.
You for the first time also on the webinar. I would preface this on the overall work that you do, and it will not count on the minutes that I'm given. There's a couple of paragraphs. Thank you, Goge Africa, for inviting us to take part in this forum. I would also like to commend Goge for the extraordinary work they have been doing over the last couple of decades to promote intra-Africa tourism. I applaud passion, perseverance, and commitment in bringing we Africans together through tourism and travel. I encourage them to continue their noble efforts, and I would like to seize this opportunity to assure them that our embassy in Abuja would work closely with them in promoting intra-African tourism.
Thank you, sir.
I'm pleased to note that the work that Goge does has in recent years been complemented by our continental body, the African Union. The Union in its Agenda 2063 has called for action in two major areas that would boost intra-Africa tourism. In the agenda, the Union has called for actions to be taken to connect Africa through the world-class infrastructure, including through improved efficiency and connection of the African aviation sector and abolishment of visa requirements for all African citizens in all African countries. In this regard, encouraging steps have been taken by some countries, including by the first and second most populous countries in Africa. He gets them right. Both Nigeria and Ethiopia have put in place provisions for issuance of visa on arrival for passport holders from all African countries. As most, if not all, participants are aware, the agreement on the African Continental Free Trade Area will also be an important instrument in boosting intra-Africa tourism. Let me now highlight briefly to participants why they should consider Ethiopia individually or through their companies as their favorite tourism destination. After all, Ethiopia accommodates all types of tourism, be it nature, culture, and adventure. We are now according the sector the importance it deserves. Tourism is one of the 5 sectors identified to generate growth for the Ethiopian economy. We have earnestly started work to realize the potential of the sector, as I will mention shortly. Now, what are the tourist attractions in Ethiopia? The land of origins, of humankind, the Blue Nile, and coffee, of course. We have several world heritage in both the tangible and the intangible. In the domain of tangible culture, 8 UNESCO Cultural World Heritage Sites are in Ethiopia, 1 UNESCO Natural World Heritage Site, 12 Ethiopian manuscripts registered as World Documentary Heritage, 5 biosphere reserves, and in the field of intangible culture, we have registered in 2016 the GADA system, an indigenous democratic socio-political system of the Oromo. In 2015, Fiche Chambalala, a New Year festival of the Sidama people. In 2013, Maskal, commemoration feast of the finding of the true Holy Cross of Christ. Now, how to access the vast tourist attractions of Ethiopia? The land of origins can be explored through the 5 great Ethiopian routes. These include the historic Nose and the Semin Mountains, the Rift Valley and the cultural mosaic of the south. In the east, the Danakil Depression, Harar and Ballet Mountains. In the west, lush nature and coffee routes. And Addis Ababa and surroundings, of which I would say a little bit because of recent developments that will make Goge and Ethiopia very happy. The historic north and the Semin Mountains. You have Aksum in the north, well founded more than 3,000 years ago by the Queen of Sheba. Aksum is said to be the last resting place of the biblical Ark of the Covenant. The World Heritage Site's most famous landmark is a trio of giant engraved granite obelisks, the tallest blocks of solid stone ever erected in ancient times. We also have Lalibela, known as the 8th wonder of the world. The World Heritage Site at Lalibela is a medieval complex of 11 rock chapels hand-carved into the remote mountains of the Ethiopian interior. And Gondar, the Camelot of Africa, capital of Ethiopia from 1636 until the mid-19th century, where the UNESCO World Site
I've called it.
Yes, includes Fasil Gibbi, the royal compound, and the Church of Dabra Burhan Selassie with beautiful painted interiors. The Semin Mountains National Park, founded by UNESCO as lauded by UNESCO as Natural World Heritage Site and one of the world's most spectacular landscapes with jagged mountain peaks, deep valleys, and sharp precipices. I think the Ballet Mountains together with the Semin Mountains, I must refer to the discussions you had last week with Nollywood people, where they were referring to New Zealand. I think those places rival New Zealand. I would not say they are better than, but they rival New Zealand. So it's worth noting by participants these important geographic places. Lake Tana Biosphere Reserve. You have Ethiopia's largest lake, combines a pleasant tropical climate with some great sightseeing, notably the spectacular Blue Nile Falls and the several beautifully painted island monasteries. The Blue Nile, as you may know, the Blue Nile is the origin of the Nile, which arcs southwest from its source in Lake Tana, emits over a spectacular 45-meter high waterfall called Tesesat, water that smokes into a mile-deep gorge. Nagash, another cultural site, Ethiopia's oldest Islamic settlement, established by a group of Muslim refugees that included close relatives of the Prophet Muhammad during his lifetime. Geralta, the towering sandstone outcrops of the Geralta escarpment are incised with around 24 isolated rock-hewn churches along challenging but wonderfully scenic footpaths. Can you hear me? The Rift Valley and the cultural...
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Thank you. In the Rift Valley and the cultural mosaic of the south, we have the Central Rift Valley lakes, renowned for their stunning aquatic bird life. The 5 freshwater and soda lakes of the Central Rift Valley offer a host of attractions. Konso, the 230 kilometer square Konso cultural landscape is renowned for its ancient hilltop palette, terrace-walled villages, and hardwood statues of the Waka gravemaker. Nechisar, or Whitegrass National Park, The widely beautiful and diverse landscape of Nechisar includes a dense swath of groundwater forest bordering the town of Arbaminch, the twin lakes Chamo and Abayata, and the wide open Nechisar plains. South Omo, Ethiopia's most culturally diverse region, supports 16 ethnic groups. Also in the area is the Lower Omo, UNESCO's World Heritage Site, protecting a number of important paleontological sites. In the east, we have the Danakil, Harar, and Ballet mountains. In Harar, you have this historic walled citadel, is Islam's fourth holy city, and a UNESCO World with its unique Har or house, spectacular Sof Omar Caves, one of the most spectacular and extensive underground caverns in the world, running for nearly 15 kilometers. It is also a sacred place of worship. Ballet Mountains National Park, to which I have alluded earlier, the Ballets are renowned for their avian diversity and being a global stronghold for several endangered large mammal species, including the Ethiopian wolf, mountain Nile, and Ballet monkey. Bishoftu, of course, very close to Addis. The resort town of Bishoftu, nearly 40 kilometers from Addis Ababa, is known for its beautiful crater lakes, which are enclosed by lush vegetation and support a wealth of birds. One of the owners of the resort from there, I was trying to get in contact with him, but like Goge, he works in Africa. He is abroad within Africa searching for markets. Awash National Park, bordered by the Awash River Goge, the 756 kilometers square national park protects a semi-arid tract of Rift Valley floor inhabited by antelope and a bird checklist consisting of almost 500 species. The Danakil Depression, sun-cracked salts, flats, volatile volcano such as Ertahale. The Danakil is a true desert and one of the lowest lying and hottest places on the planet. And in the west, we have the lush nature and coffee roots, Wenche being one of these places, an extinct volcano. Mount Wenche rises to 3,386 meters above sea level with Afro-alpine moorland on its upper slopes, enclosing a large and beautiful crater lake. Gambella National Park, Ethiopia's largest national park, extends over 5,060 kilometers square of Gambella regional estate in the low-lying far west and is the site of Africa's second largest antelope migration. The Kafa Biosphere Reserve, the largest and most accessible of 3 UNESCO recognized biosphere reserves, the 7,600 kilometer square reserve is the sole home of many coffee varieties which still grow wild in the region. Now, Addis Ababa and its surroundings, even since Goge has visited Addis, there are a number of changes. I would refer to this, and it's ideal for stopover tourism. Addis has a thriving cultural life, embracing some excellent art galleries, traditional restaurants, and live music venues. Addis Ababa is studded with worldwide museums. The landmark National Museum of Ethiopia is of particular interest for its paleontological hall, displaying a hominid skeleton stretching back 5.5 million years. And you know, Lucy is also there. Historic churches and mosques. This region, Addis, is home to an array of beautiful historic religious architecture from the Ntoto Mariam Church and the Holy Trinity Cathedral to the Anwar Grand Mosque and the Gracious Orthodox churches. Menagesha National Forest, protected by imperial decree since the 15th century. 1-5. Menagesha is a substantial forest in the vicinity of Addis Ababa where you can walk, hike, and cycle. Tia, the mysterious Tia Stella Field, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that comprises 36 megaliths erected to mark mass graves of young males and females, possibly soldiers, who were laid to rest. Now, in
sorry,
our...
sir. I'm very sorry.
I'm not...
5 minutes, please.
Okay, okay. I will not take 5
Okay,
minutes.
he'll be rounding up
Thank
soon. Nena,
you.
thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Nena, thank you.
No, I'm
All right,
concluding
sir.
now.
Thank you.
Okay. In our new homegrown economic policy, tourism is identified to play a key role as one of the sources of growth. This has been backed by actions on the ground. In just 2 years, we have built 3 state-of-the-art parks in and around Addis Ababa. In the same manner, development of more tourist attractions throughout the country is in the pipeline. Even in the age of the social media, you may not have heard of the latest tourist attractions in Addis yet. The 3 parks are the Andenet or Unity Park at the National Palace, featuring 6 attraction sites ranging from historical buildings to indigenous plants, exhibition, as well as the indigenous black main lion, zoo, and the 9 regional states pavilion. Sugar Park's Friendship Square, an ultra-modern park inaugurated a week ago, showcases why we call our capital city Addis Ababa or New Flower for Amharic. It has all the facilities a modern park is supposed to possess, including an open-air showground that accommodates for tens of thousands of participants. In Toto National Park, on the majestic Ntoto chain of mountains, overlooking Addis Ababa at more than 3,000 meters above sea level, you will experience nature at its most pristine with all the amenities to make your visit extraordinary. Ethiopia has various niche markets in the field of nature, culture, and adventure. For details, I encourage participants to visit the website of the Ministry of Culture and Tourism of Ethiopia, which has links to several tourism-related institutions. We will work with Goge so that it will bring a glimpse of the tourist attractions of Ethiopia to all of you through its network of media outlets. Let me note finally that Forbes has recently included Ethiopia as one of the rising stars in travel, featuring 7 countries that have the potential to become major tourist destinations in post-COVID world. I assure you all that we are preparing ourselves to welcome tourists from across Africa. Thank you for your kind attention, and I hope Ashalo, my colleague from the Investment Commission, will provide you with the potentials that would dovetail very well to the broad outline that I have made. Thank you so much, Goge.
Thank you so very much, sir. You, if I'm listening to you, you sound more like the Minister for Tourism now, because you did a very, very good job. And most of the places you mentioned, I already know, because I've been to Ethiopia many times. And Ethiopia was the first country that actually acquired Goge Africa. That was way back in 2002. So we come a long way. One of the cities in Ethiopia that I really love very much is Bahirda. I think it's the cleanest city in the world.
Yes.
Okay, so if you have questions for him, just note it, perhaps put it in the chat room. Thank you, sir. We're going to have the second speaker shortly, but before then, it's important that I introduce some of the investors from the USA who are also here to listen to you and to all of you speak, actually. So I'm talking about, he wears 2 caps. I think he should introduce himself. He is Sadio Madu, the president of USA Chamber of Commerce, and also Sadio, are you here? Hello, Sadio. Okay, let me quickly introduce the CEO of Borg Investments Bank, America. That would be Dr. Toby Bailey.
Thank you so much, Lady Nika. I'm Dr. Toby Bailey.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
This is Dr. Toby Bailey, Chairman and Managing Trustee and Global CEO of Borg Investment Bank. We're started in Washington, D.C., USA, but we now have a presence in Europe, in London, as a asset management and wealth management company, and soon to be in St. Kitts as a commercial bank. We provide full-scale bank instruments and project financing, for any genre, any situation all throughout Africa and all throughout the global diaspora of Africans. Thank you.
Thank you. So do you have other people with you today that you might just want to introduce briefly, just their names, and then we go ahead to the second speaker?
Very good. Yeah, Sir Joe Madu, he is my Vice President of Business Development for all of Africa. And I think Brian Searcy is on. He is the Chairman of the African U.S. Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you very much. We're going on quickly to Mr. Acheleu Tadesa. He's the, are you here, sir? Hello? Hello, Ethiopia. Can you hear me, sir? Are you on with us? You're supposed to come on next.
I'm hearing you now. Hello.
Okay, beautiful. Yes, thank you. I'd like you to introduce yourself better because I cannot pronounce him very well.
Actually, you pronounced it perfectly. That's great, no problem.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right, so you have the floor.
Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Ascalo Tadesa. I'm from Ethiopian Investment Commission. Thank you for this opportunity to introduce our country's investment opportunities, especially regarding tourism sectors. So now from this session, I'm looking for investors as our ambassador Azana clearly stated about the Ethiopian tourist destinations. I will be more focusing on the investment point of view. What are the incentives package and what is the incentive package and specific services what we are delivering for investors. So this is all. If you give me the chance to speak, I will come to later.
Okay, go ahead, sir. You're supposed to speak now, sir.
Yeah. As Ambassador clearly mentioned about the Ethiopian tourist destination in Ethiopia. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, as our Ambassador Azano clearly mentioned about the Ethiopian tourist destinations in Ethiopia, I think he clearly mentioned about the destination of Ethiopian tourism. Ethiopia is one of land origins and also among the best destination for tourism registered in UNESCO heritage sites. So Ambassador clearly mentioned about each of the tourist destinations. So I will be focused on about what are the investment opportunities on the tourist destination in Ethiopia. So as Ethiopian government, tourism is one of the opportunity, one of the priority sector for tourists, and we have tremendous or rigorous incentives for those who invest in the tourist destinations, and also we have identified areas, these tourist destination areas, those who invest in the tourist destination areas, like as Ambassador mentioned, like the Semin Mountains, Ballet Mountains, Ertalle, Gararta, Nechasar National Park, Wanchi, and other industrial tourism destinations. Those who invest in those tourist destinations areas, there is also up to five up to 6 years income tax holiday periods, and also all capital goods. Capital goods means all necessary machineries and equipment is 100% duty free, and also all construction materials like steel structures, all necessary construction materials duty free. And our service in Ethiopian Investment Commission, we are providing one-stop shop service. All investor related service providing one window, just investment license, business license, work permit, all investor-related issue is issued in one window. So any investors, without going here and there and knocking any other institutions, we are providing all necessary service in one investment commission building. So I'm the one, especially the promoting and inviting investors, and in my department, even if any investors to come to investment commission and to like to invest in the area of one of the tourist destination areas, I will assign expertise, and I myself will communicate with these investors. We will provide to all the necessary service and activities. Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me? Yeah, are you with me?
Yes.
So regarding investment, especially tourist destination in Ethiopia, as I mentioned clearly, as one of the priority sectors, we have an abundant tourist potentials. So especially lodge and restaurant, star-rated hotels is allowed for investors. And for those who invest in the tourist destination areas, our incentive package is very, very nice and very encouraged for investors. And we will provide hand-holding service for those investors. So if any investors want to communicate with me, and I'm welcome, I will provide to you all the documents and all the necessary procedures and steps. And I will leave my emails and my contacts. And if anyone in the participants want to communicate with me, I will give to you all hand-holding service. Those who want to invest in Ethiopia, one of the tourist destination areas. So tourism is one of the priority sectors. The government is highly encouraged those who invest in the tourist destinations. Those who participate in this session today, you're welcome to come and to invest in Ethiopia. Our ambassador Azano clearly mentioned all the Ethiopian tourist destinations one by one, and I clearly focused on the incentive package and the services and how to get land. Land in Ethiopia is lease-based. There is no land, private land in Ethiopia. Land is lease-based, and the lease period is 99 years old, 99 years, and also land is administered by the regional government. So the Ethiopian Investment Commission is facilitated the land issue and all the necessary services for those investing in the one of the tourist destination in Ethiopia. So this is what I'm saying to you. If you have questions, I'm very happy to answer the questions for those investors. Thank you, madam.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, well, you've made a very good presentation. I'm sure some people in the audience would want to connect with you. Yeah. I want to use this opportunity to say, if you have questions, this is the right time to ask, whether for the ambassador or for Mr.
Astaro.
Astaro.
Yeah,
that's great. That is great. You pronounce it very well.
Ahmed Tadesse.
Astalo Tadesse.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me
to let you know that the DG of Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation is here. I just saw him, so maybe we'll just say hello to him and get back on track again.
All right, Mr. Kuka. He's welcome on board.
Are you here, sir?
Welcome on board, sir.
Yeah, I'm hearing. I'm here.
It's a pleasure to join you, even if it's a bit late. We just had our board meeting. So it's been hectic time. I've just listened to a little bit of what has been said, and I would like to just briefly add, because I won't be able to be here for quite for a length of time. I think the growth of African tourism is going to be Pan-African. What you're good at doing, bring it over here, because we've got the numbers here. And definitely will exchange those numbers with what you're good at doing. For example, those who are good at safari, come to Yankari. Come, let's partner in Nigeria with Yankari. You'll still make the same money. Those who are good with airlines, yeah, maybe, find a way to get in here and give us real, reasonable bargains. Everybody got this global pandemic problem. Everybody has seen economies pretty much crash. Everybody's looking for the same investment in their own countries to reimagine, not change, reimagine life. And there's no post-COVID. COVID is here to stay, and we're going to have to live with life with COVID. So I just want to add that we've got to reimagine life, and it's sharing comparative advantages, not them being used exclusively to one's advantage. I will try and stay as long as I can and, relate probably through the chat section, but I'll leave my email address in case anybody wants to further a particular conversation with me. I'd be delighted to so do.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. So, Nena, do we have questions in the chat room to attend to, or do we go straight to the next speaker?
Hello, Nene.
We can go straight to the next speaker. No questions at the moment.
All right.
Okay, but before, I have just one question for His Excellency or the gentleman who just spoke. But the last time we visited Lalibela, I noticed that Ethiopia has a lot of mountains. So, and I'm wondering why you have not considered paragliding events in these mountains, Your Excellency. Hello? Did he hear me? Hello, Your Excellency? From Ethiopia?
Perhaps he's trying to unmute himself.
Okay.
You're right. It was muted. Now you can hear me.
Yes.
Can you hear
Yes,
me?
I can hear you now.
I can hear you.
So,
You had my question?
the part that says, why haven't you used it for, I didn't get that one.
Paragliding.
Yes. The paragliding events. Paragliding where people get on the mountain, then pilots from different parts. I mean, it's a great event.
Yeah,
Why haven't
thank
you
you
started that?
Thank you so much. I have seen that action in Geneva, the surrounding mountains. You might have seen in the summer. I happen to be
Great.
from that very region that I was alluding to, the Semin mountains. Really very majestic. I have been to the Alps mountains, likely since the early 90s. I have seen elsewhere, and that's what really, if Nollywood people are there, you will connect us. Hermela and myself will be really working with, I have been thinking about this since I arrived in Abuja. The natural beauty of Ethiopia rivals anywhere you go. I have been to some corners of the world, and I mean it. Lalibela is a case in point. The Semin Mountains, the Ballet Mountains. You have backgrounds for Nollywood that will rival any landscape on earth. It's just we haven't utilized it. And as Stella was saying, as I said a while ago, in our new economic policy, homegrown policy, tourism is one of the 5 sectors. One of the 5. It's not a secondary sector now. Tourism is one of the 5.
Yeah.
Industry,
Wow.
and technology. So the focus on tourism is really very, very huge. Goge, let's work together. By work together, that's what I mean. The know-how, the things that we are bringing, we have everything. With culture, nature, adventure.
Great.
And this would be one of the areas, and I think we will collaborate with you to bring in resources. The chamber from the US, for example, the bank that is managing assets, etc. It is this kind of resources that move forward, so that we jointly bring the ideas, their investment potential
together.
to Mr. Aschar, help us realize this. But we have the potential, absolutely. Maybe
Great.
Astalo
All right, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Excellency.
You know, Ethiopia is so vast and there's so much that
Honestly.
we have to learn, you know. But since we're running on time, because a lot of people on this webinar today also have other things to do. So maybe what we should do is just go straight to the second speaker. And her speaking here, yes, the third speaker. Her presence here today is very critical, especially for countries that want to learn what the magic Dubai has, that all of a sudden Dubai is the place to be. So on that note, I would like to welcome Ms. Stella Fubara Obinwa. She's the Director of Operations, Dubai Tourism. Stella, you've got the floor now.
Hello, Stella.
Hi,
Stella.
Neka,
Oh, yeah. Great to have you here.
Neka is being so formal. She doesn't talk like that to me normally. Normally, she's bullying me. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Stella. As Neka introduced, I am the Director, International Operations with Dubai Tourism. I've been with Dubai Tourism going on 6 years now. Prior to that, I started out about 25, 30 years ago in the travel and tourism industry in the United States of America. Worked for quite a while with Walt Disney World. Worked for quite a while with Wyndham Hotels and Vacation Resorts. And I also worked with Wakanao. My actual training is as an accountant. But I kind of got bored with that and jumped into travel and tourism. And I'm sure lots of you jumped into this as well from other careers which weren't quite fulfilling. I'm going to try and be as brief as possible, although I can talk all day about Dubai, because the theme that Neka gave me was actually about how Dubai has packaged itself as a destination, and everything I'm going to tell you can relate to any product that you intend to invest in or market in. Every product has to be packaged. And there's so many pieces to packaging a product. But for tourism, packaging focuses on specific aspects. It focuses on hospitality. It focuses on transportation. It focuses on attractions, lifestyle, tourism policies, people, and messaging. About 7 key items that you really do need to have in place if you want your destination to become a tourist focus. It's not enough to say you have a great spa. So you have a great spa. What's the infrastructure around it? How do people get there? What do they do when they're not in the spa? What do they eat? What can make up more than one day at your destination? And that is the way Dubai has approached this and focused on the different aspects. Let's talk about hospitality. Dubai, I think probably about 6 years ago, had one of its KPIs to be one of the destinations with the most room nights. If you are in travel and tourism, you need to know that you are measured by your room nights. And prior to COVID, Las Vegas had the most room nights with, I believe, over 180,000 room nights. This is not the same as hotel rooms. This is different. But in order for you to position your destination to welcome tourists, you have to have enough room nights. So if you think that you want every tourist to come to your destination for 5 nights and you want 100,000 tourists, you have to have available 100,000 times 5. So that's 500,000 room nights. This is the way the math works. And you have to have not just hotels, but resorts and the people in the hospitality industry. You have to have the right talent. You have to have, hospitality is not for everyone. One of the things I noticed when I went to work for Walt Disney World many years ago is that truly everybody that worked there, everybody that you would see in the parks was happy. The janitor was happy. The person in the restaurant was happy. The person doing the rides, they weren't faking it. They were truly happy. It used to really get on my nerves. I'm like, how can you just be so happy in the hot sun, working for 8-hour shifts? They're happy people. So when you're doing your recruiting for hospitality, you recruit for passion. Everyone can learn how to clean a toilet or to man a table or to do an Excel spreadsheet, but you can't teach anyone passion. Never hire anyone for a job that they do not have passion for. It is a recipe for failure. And then your hotel rooms have to have standards. There has to be regulation, or everyone will open up a building and call it a hotel, and with no standards. What's a 3-star? What's a 4-star? What's a 5-star? Dubai took it to the next level. A 3-star hotel in Dubai is equivalent to a 5-star hotel anywhere else in the world. Make sure that your hotels are regulated, especially the brand hotels. By brand, I mean the Marriotts, the Hiltons, the Radissons, hotels that people know from country to country. You can't have varying standards from country to country. So the Radisson Blu in Lagos should be equivalent to the Radisson Blu in Addis Ababa. Same standards. That's on the aspect of hospitality, and of course the people. And you have to offer different kinds of hotels. You have your boutique hotels, you have your large scale hotels, you have your mid-class hotels. And then of course I mentioned the 3, the 4, the 5-star hotels. You have hotel apartments. This is how Dubai has excelled, by offering all of these kind of hotel groups to suit any kind of traveler for whatever reason that they're coming to Dubai. The next part of packaging a destination is your transportation. You have to have a way to get there. Of course, that means airline. And if it's for African countries where you share land borders, it should mean train or bus service and the roads that people drive on to get there. One of the first things that Dubai did, and I think it was back in 1975, I haven't done this training in a while, was they created their own airline, which is Emirates Airline. The UAE has 2 national airlines. That's how much they are invested. One country has 2 national airlines, Etihad for the UAE and Emirates for Dubai. And so Emirates Airlines represents the partnership between tourism and the airwaves. And they have done a fantastic job of providing standard routes and different kinds of planes and different kinds of services. Of course, COVID has come and changed the history that we were all trying to develop. And Emirates has had to regroup itself, scale down from 280 destinations. They're now almost at 100 destinations, but it is right now the airline, even before this, the airline with the most destinations, serving the most destinations with the best connectivity. It prides itself on that. So there must be an airline to get people to your destination. And then within your countries, there must be airlines going from one city to the other. If you are promoting travel as for your destination as a country, so that they're not just visiting one city when they're there. So that like when you're in South Africa, you can go to Joburg and Cape Town and Durban all in one trip, especially if it's a long haul trip. The other part of transportation is domestic transportation. What are your taxi services like? Would you like to enter a taxi in your country? Are they clean? Are they safe? What are your buses like? What is your train service like? Do you have metro? Do you have water boats? You have to develop all of that, because if someone comes to your destination and they find it difficult to get around, they'll just stay stuck in their hotel and they won't experience your destination. So Dubai has developed all of those. The buses, the shuttles from hotels directly to attractions. The metro runs from the airport all the way across the whole length of Dubai, and they even built a brand new metro to service Expo 2020, which was supposed to start this year, but it's been postponed to next year. So, you know, again, you're attracting tourists, you've built the hotels, you're happy with your hotels, your tourists are going to be comfortable in your hotels. Now you have to make sure they can get to you, and that when they're in your city, they're safe and they have fun being transported from place to place. And then the third one is attractions. So when they get there, please don't tell me you're selling one attraction per city. So if someone spends $1,000 to go from the United States to Kenya, what are they going to do for the 2 weeks that they're there? A country has to develop multiple attractions. Some of them are natural, like the hills, the mountains, the natural springs, and some of them are man-made, like theme parks and water parks and adventures. I heard Isaac was talking about paragliding. I'm probably a lot older than most of you on here, but I was bold enough about 3 weeks ago to go skydiving. Yes, I jumped from a plane in all my full glory, and it was an experience. Yes, Nneka, I will send you the video. It was amazing. But there is so much to do in Dubai that we have tourists who have been coming here on record for maybe 6 years, twice a year, and they never do the same activities for their 7-day stay. So you can't have tourists coming and there are 3 things to do, 3 things to see. That's boring, and they'll never come back. One of the ways that tourism grows is repeat tourism. You have to have enough that the person who came yesterday is going to want to come back next year. And then there's lifestyle. I separated lifestyle from attractions because lifestyle refers to the culture of the people when the tourists get there, what culture are they going to be exposed to, what shopping and what dining. As of April 2019, I think, Dubai had 11,928 dining outlets. That's restaurants, cafes, fast food, 11,928, because we want you to be able to eat a different meal in a different restaurant every day you are here, even if you stay for a whole year. As an example, Atlantis the Palm has 16 restaurants. So you can stay 2 weeks in Atlantis and eat at a different restaurant every day. You can't keep tourists. Food is a major part of tourism. Let's put it that way. Food is a major part of tourism. So you must focus on it. You must focus on the shopping. Shopping is another major part. And it doesn't have to be high-end designer shopping. One of the things I like to do when I'm traveling in different African countries is always go to the local cultural market. I do it in Rwanda, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. I make it a habit to go there because I find such beautiful cultural things that I can take back as mementos. And they're very safe markets. And I mean, and there's enjoyment in bargaining and hassling the prices, but shopping for all sorts of things is very critical. So I've named about 4 different aspects of packaging a destination that Dubai has focused on to enable us be one of the best travel destinations in the world for whatever reason you want to travel. But if you have all those things and the government does not have policies in place to support each one of those different service providers, then you will run into a lot of challenges. So there are, Dubai Tourism is the regulatory arm and the Ministry of Tourism for Dubai. And, you know, we are involved in creating a lot of policies and regulations and inspections for all of these service providers to make sure that they are adhering to standards. I will fast forward to now, which is, COVID period. We have very strict COVID regulations in place. The rest of the world, every country seems to be approaching COVID hygiene differently. The UAE is at the top of the class in COVID hygiene. Wearing a face mask is mandatory. By mandatory, I mean that if you are caught in a public place without a face mask, you will be fined 3 to 50,000 dirhams. That's how serious it is. So every hotel you're walking to, the hospitals, your workplace, the shopping, you have to wear a mask. And what did the government do and the service providers do to help us wear these masks? The masks, yes, we buy masks, but you can also get them for free in every establishment you go to. If you walk into a hotel, free masks are right there at the counter. And they are also in your room, replaced every day, sometimes twice a day if you have turn down service. If you're going into a supermarket, there are masks and disposable gloves outside the supermarket. You just pick one, you walk in case you stepped out of your transportation and you forgot your mask. So wearing the mask, temperature checks, as well as social distancing. And Dubai Tourism and Dubai Municipality are in charge of making sure that these policies are adhered to. So you can't have all these great attractions, great hotels, great transportation, dining and facilities without having government policies to support those service providers. And then the last two that I want to mention are your messaging and the people. What message are you creating out there for your destination? Messages are created in many ways. Some are organic in that because a destination has many mountains, they now name the city of 1,000 mountains. Some messaging is purposeful. The government creates the messaging because this is how they want the world to see them. And then some messaging is created by the tourists who come to visit you. You have to be in control of some of that messaging in order for potential tourists to have the right perception of your destination. There used to be a time that Dubai was only associated with the word luxury. And about 5 years ago, we changed that. We want everyone to see that this destination is affordable and can serve all budgets. There are times of the year in Dubai where you can stay in a 5-star hotel for $50 a night. Same amenities. And of course, we trust that the travel agents are aware of all this time and are positioning this well. So the messaging is very important. You want the right message. I mean, the media will pick up anything, and you want to be able to influence the media in the messaging. I know that there are times of security, and there's certain cities or countries where there's unrest. If you are trying to conquer that perception, you have to be very purposeful in your messaging. Dubai, the UAE, is in the center of the Middle East, and yet is one of the safest countries in the entire world. That speaks volumes, and we use that messaging at any point that we can, because when you travel, you want to be safe. And then finally, there's the people. The people in Dubai have been nurtured into travel and tourism. They understand that travel and tourism is what feeds and keeps the city going. And so everybody is involved in it in some way or the other. Everyone is trying to provide some additional value to tourists when they arrive here. And that spurs creativity, so that Dubai ends up having things that nobody else had. We have a restaurant in the sky. Of course, we have the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, and it's going to be rivaled by another building that is going to be even taller than the Burj Khalifa. These things are created by individuals who reside here, but have so imbibed the spirit of tourism and travel that they're very creative in coming up with different ways to lure tourists to Dubai. So I hope, and this, I hope I didn't go over 10 minutes, but I was able to give you some picture of how Dubai has packaged itself for the world. And these are things that you can use in your countries to attract tourism to your countries. And always remember that tourism is a two-way street. Whoever travels to you must travel out. Airlines do not deal in one-way tourism. That seat on the plane going to your destination will be canceled if there's no one on the plane leaving your destination. So people ask me, how, you're marketing Dubai in African countries, don't you think that's a conflict? And I always tell them, every destination has something different and unique to offer. What Dubai offers to the African traveler is different from what Kenya offers them. It's different from what South Africa offers them. It's different from what Ethiopia offers them, or Tanzania. So I don't think that we're in direct competition. I feel we complement each other by, if you're trying to get to one of the African countries and you're flying on Emirates, stop in Dubai for a few days on your way there or on your way back and experience two vastly different destinations. But the airlines will be grateful because there's a butt on the seat flying to the destination and there's a butt on the seat flying out. So that's my my brief seminar on packaging, and I hope to see all of you in Dubai someday.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Okay, go ahead.
Awesome. Yes, that was a beautiful presentation, Stella. I know that you'd kill it. Now, I have this one question, Stella. What determines the star a hotel is judged by? Because I know in Dubai you also have up to 7-star hotel, just like you have in Egypt and just a few other places. But tell me, what precisely determines the star a hotel is judged by?
Okay,
a lot of us would like to know that.
In the hospitality industry, there is an international star rating guideline. So for instance, if you want to be the difference between a 3-star and 4-star hotel might be that the 3-star hotel does not have a swimming pool. So all hotels that have swimming pools or have spas or have more than one dining location or have room sizes, the room size is very, very critical to the star rating. For a hotel to be classified as a 5-star, it must have minimum room size. I don't know off the top of my head what that square footage is, but a 3-star hotel does not have the same room size as a 5-star hotel. So there are many things that determine whether your hotel is 3, 4, or 5-star, but the number one is the room size and then the amenities. That's how it gets determined.
All right.
Okay, thank you so much, Stella.
Thank you.
There's so many people that have got questions for you, but because Yvonne needs to go in the next 15, 20 minutes, I'll just let him come and talk.
No.
I know
Yibo, it's not possible. Yibo should wait.
Don't do this to Yibo. Yibo is going to catch some millions for himself and myself. You see why I'm advocating for him to leave in the next 20 minutes?
It's okay.
Yibo is a homeboy now. Okay, Yibo, you've got Stella's permission. Yibo, where are you?
What I did was, we're driving to the destination now. So to be quick, I can listen and then get there and talk. So let's take Stella. I mean, I like what she said so far.
Great.
Let's don't kill the momentum. Let them ask questions.
Oh, I'm good, okay good. So Stella, your first question is from me. Nigeria is working at developing her domestic tourism. I tell you why, because I know how many of us that come to Dubai every year. Now there's COVID. A lot of people are not really ready to travel that far. And some people have lost their jobs, so they may not be able to go as far as they would want to anyway. So we want to make them at least do some things within Nigeria. What would be the first 2-3 things you will advise Nigeria to do to be able to achieve that?
Great.
I would say, let me give you the easiest ones to do. That hopefully, if you ask in the right way, you might be able to do them for free. You have some of the strongest influencers in Africa resident in Nigeria. I know this because Dubai Tourism uses them. Nollywood is all powerful.
Thank you.
And each of those actors or actresses comes from a particular state. Why is the state not leveraging off of their homegrown people?
Thank you.
Get them to visit locally and speak about what is there locally, and they should do it for free. That's where they come from.
Thank you. That's a good advice, because a lot Goge Africa has been doing for Nigeria is actually for free. So I mean, why not them too? Thank you so much, Stella. Number 2.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Number 2. I asked for 3 things. You just said 1.
Neka, you have come now.
You're in Nigeria now, Shebi. We are all doing it for free. You're in Nigeria now. You contribute your quota.
The second one, I think, would be to realize, for those of you who are in travel and tourism, and Neka just used herself and Goge Africa as an example. It's a critical example. Do not get into travel and tourism for the money. Get into it for the passion. And then what that means is, if you are Lagos, for instance, and you want to promote the cultural aspect of the Nikkei Arts Gallery, guess what? You have to offer entry for free on certain days. You have to give freely to the society before the society starts to pay for you. If you're having a festival and you want to attract people, first 500 people get in for free, the rest pay. You do that for the first couple of years. Thereafter, you don't have to give it free anywhere more because you've established yourself. But in travel and tourism, you have to learn to start out in the free world. People won't pay for what they don't know. So you get them to come there, get them to do testimonials, and then you can start to charge for it. And the third thing would be, when you're talking about domestic, especially for a country like Nigeria or Ethiopia or South Africa that is massive, moving from place to place has to be secure. So you need to get the transportation providers involved. Guess what? There's a family rate. Family of 5 flying on Air Peace, going to Calabar for the Calabar Festival. 1 person flies free. These are the way, it's mainly money
incentives.
Yes, it's mainly money that stops people from going from place to place. So take that burden off. Let me give you an example. Atlantis here in Dubai, and a lot of the hotels have fantastic freebies that they're given to those of us who live here, have houses here, that we should come and spend the weekend with them. They're called staycations. Africa can do staycations. Staycation is you arrive Thursday evening for Dubai, because we don't work on Fridays, and you leave on Sunday, and you get to spend the whole weekend at the hotel at a reduced rate. That's what the hotels are doing to make sure that they have occupancy.
That's right. That's right. I recall our travel to Barbados. I understand they also do that in Barbados. They let the locals come in at a very low rate during the weekend, and especially during low season, they encourage the locals to come in and enjoy the facilities. That's good. That's good.
Okay,
Really
Nena, anybody have questions, or there are questions in the room you would like to share with us?
I can't even.
Hello, Nena.
In the chat.
No, I can hear you.
Okay, people
are
just.
What was the third one? That's the third one still remaining from Stella. She just mentioned 2 things. That was the third one.
I mentioned 3. Nick, I mentioned.
You mentioned 3. Stop.
Oh,
you want to turn to Oliver Twist?
I will leave you all with this one message, please, because like the DG for Nigeria Tourism said, there is nothing like post-COVID. COVID is here to stay. We're going to be dealing with this for a while. So start to think about what your travel or your travel industry or your attractions and that whole world, start to think about what it looks like with COVID. Don't be planning for when COVID goes away. We're being told now that all this vaccine conversation, don't worry about it till fall of 2021. So what can you do now? Again, I use Atlantis as another example. If you go to Atlantis and you stay 5 nights, they will pay for your PCR test upon departure. Recently, so PCR tests are a norm in every country, and providers were raising the prices and raising the prices. The Dubai government stepped in approximately 3 days ago and said, there is a cap. It is 250 dirhams at every government establishment that does PCR. No more of this $100 business for PCR tests. So make your place COVID friendly, because it's here to stay. Think COVID, think hygiene, think safety as you promote domestic tourism so that we don't go back into another pandemic.
Thank you so much, Stella.
Thank you.
On that note, since Ibo is traveling, let's go to South Africa. We have the regional head, West Africa, in the person of Tekiso Ralolojan. I hope I got that right. From South Africa Tourism. Did I get that right?
Madam, you tried.
Oh, good. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. And thank you so much for inviting us. We are very, glad to be here today. And before I start, I think we need to give Stella a round of applause. That was really and truly an ideal, or rather a perfect way of articulating what a destination organization needs to do in positioning itself.
Teskiso, we both know that you are a grandmaster at this. I've been at several of your seminars, and when he gets done speaking, I look at the organizers and I go, I can't talk after him.
But that's why I put you before him. I was kind, so I put you before him, right?
South Africa tourism was long established as a powerhouse in the Africa ecosystem before Dubai even came on board. And they actually were the trendsetters and the trailblazers for creating international tourism, if you will. It was South Africa tourism. So kudos to them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stella. Coming from me, we truly appreciate that. So I think that in itself for me is a critical factor. And there's one thing that, before I go into my presentation, that I would like to note, and particularly talking to the group, the people in the room today, is that the way we approach tourism, we need to look at destinations as options that we make available to our clients. So if I'm sitting in Abuja or in Lagos or wherever I am, Port Harcourt, and I'm planning for a summer with my family, I would like to have options. And South Africa, Singapore, Dubai, America, the UK, those are the options that are available. And the people in the room need to look at the makeups of those destinations and determine what it is that their client is looking for and be able to articulate to their client the value proposition of those clients. And I think for me, that is really the core of how you package a destination. Now, for us as South Africa, firstly, just a bit of introduction about myself. I've been with South African tourism now for 10 years. in the marketing and communications field, to be specific, for the last 20 years. I know a lot of people, when I mention this, they question my age versus the period of time that I've been working. But indeed, I have been in this field for a good 20 years, including the business administration. And tourism truly is my passion. I've been in the industry, like I said, for the last 10 years, from the quality assurance, which is the standard setting part of tourism, in the supply side of tourism, where I worked with the Tourism Grading Council, talking specifically around the development and the measurement of hotel and accommodation establishment standards. We, in the continent, we are the pioneers of quality standards. And indeed, we've benchmarked and shared our standards with pretty much most of the countries in the continent, including Nigeria, as a matter of fact, those that were looking to set up standards for themselves. And that in itself is one of the key factors of, from the supply side, how as a destination you are able to compete globally. It's the quality visitor experience that you are able to provide your visitors. Now, coming to South Africa, we are a destination of 57 million people, represented by 9 provinces, providing a variety of experiences. Whether you're a business traveler or a leisure traveler, we have everything. And I think the most important thing about South Africa, later on you'll get to hear from some of the tourism product owners in South Africa as they share their personal experiences and giving you the detail. We provide real, authentic visitor experience. And if you look at any research, whether it's UNWTO, whether it's any research done by Nielsen's, you'll notice that travelers more and more are looking for real, immersive, authentic experiences. That is what will constitute a repeat traveler. And as South African tourism, that is one of the key things that we position ourselves to be able to provide to all the global markets where we focused in. Right now, I'm responsible for the West Africa market, which is both Nigeria and Ghana, but we are present in about 18 other markets, including the US, UK, China, the Australasia. So just to show you, we are consistent in how we position ourselves globally. And authenticity of our destination is the one key thing that we normally articulate as our value proposition. I mean, of course, there are certain unique factors that we distinguish ourselves from the rest of the other destinations. For example, we've got 8 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. We've got 25 marine protected parks, 1,333 reserve sites, 7 transfrontier conservative areas, as well as 21 nature parks. That in itself, what it means for us as a destination is we are able to compete globally for those people that are looking for amazing natural treasures. We have them as South Africa. Now, we also then, in terms of how we position and package ourselves, we are able to focus on 6 key experiences that as a destination we are able to provide. When we talk about wildlife safari, or rather maybe when we talk about providing people with active adventure, we've got such a wide variety of experiences that spans across all the 9 provinces, which obviously in Nigeria is what we would call states. We've got the 9 provinces providing this variety of experiences. Just to name a few, we've got the bungee jumping, one of the highest bungee jumping in the Western Cape, which is the Blowgrounds Bridge. Those of you that follow our marketing would have seen we took some of our A-list celebrities in Nigeria on a familiarization trip in summer last year, Toke Makino and a few of her friends. And for the first time ever, matter of fact, Toke was able to jump off that bridge. That bridge is 214 meters long. And she took that jump and she was able to share that with her communities in Nigeria. And those are some of the ways that obviously from a marketing perspective, we position ourselves in the market of Nigeria. So the list of adventures is so wide and far, right from the Plettenberg Bay, where we've got whale watching for those people who are obviously quite nature enthusiasts. When it comes to wildlife safari, a lot of people ask me, but Kenya has open lands, and you are not able to compete on that level. Like I said, we are not competing. We are providing an alternative to what Kenya is able to provide. So when we talk about wildlife safari in South Africa, we are talking about a combination of our national parks as well as specialist parks that we have. I mean, I think everybody in the room right now is well aware of the Kruger National Park. That is, if anything, an epitome of a wildlife safari in South Africa. But indeed, what we also then do, because one of the key things that we've learned as South African tourism, because we are very research intrinsic, which is, I think, one of the key things that as destinations we need to be cognizant of. The consumer is evolving. The same consumer you talked to 5 years ago has different expectations and desires now. So you need to evolve with that consumer and ensure that whatever it is that they are now looking for, you are able to serve them that. Which is why as South African tourism, we've now gone into an environment where we are talking about hyper-personalization, which is a global phenomenon around no longer having an umbrella approach to how we provide or what we provide to our guests as experiences. You need to give them what they're looking for in the manner and the format that they're looking for. Obviously, when it comes to city lifestyle, it was mentioned earlier on, Joburg, Cape Town, I don't even need to mention anymore. Those of you that have been to South Africa are well aware of the vibrant nightlife, the plethora of dining facilities available in both Cape Town and South Africa. I can only mention the Arts on Main in Johannesburg, the Vilakazi Street in Soweto, which is where I was born and bred in Soweto. You've got, visits to the Mandela House. You've got in Cape Town, Guguletu, which is one of the oldest townships in South Africa. So those, yet again, showing you the variety of experiences that we have to offer as a destination. One of the traits of South Africa that was also mentioned earlier on was the fact that by Stella was that we are such a big country, and indeed we use that to our benefit. One of our provinces, Mpumalanga, provides open lands for those people that are looking for scenic beauty when they come to South Africa. The panorama route in Mpumalanga, as an example, is one where people can go to the God's Window, go to the Lisbon Falls, and have an immersive out-of-body experience where you are in contact with nature and away from the hustle and bustle that the likes of Johannesburg, Cape Town, and Durban offer. And culture is one of our key traits as a destination. And certainly one of the things that we've really benefited from is our forefather, Nelson Mandela. We've got a lot of sites, particularly that people are able to go through to document or experience the journey of our former president. And that in itself is one of the very uniquely South Africa offerings that we position ourselves globally, whether you're in America or you are in Nigeria. When you come to South Africa, one wants to have that immersive experience where you get to feel and touch the Mandela experience. And it's certainly one of the things that as a destination, we always want to make sure that it's in the mix of any itineraries that we put forward. Obviously being, right at the tip of Africa, at the bottom of the tip rather, we've got water all the way around and our coastal beaches are world class. I personally, yes, and I might be biased, I do not believe there's anybody that outcompetes us when it comes to that. And those of you that have been to Cape Town will agree with me. A Christmas in Cape Town, in Camps Bay, is by far the best. And Europe does not even come to, Southern France does not even come close to us. And yes, I said it.
Yes, you did.
So those really are some of the things that, we have as a destination. And what I'm trying to articulate is what Stella was talking about earlier on is the key traits that a destination has to have for it to be able to position itself as a tourist destination. And I think what I'm trying to articulate to the room is now South Africa with all these traits, to show you the traits that we have that are obviously the key things that are enabling us to position ourselves as a preferred destination for both leisure and business. I think our transportation system is by far, a world-class system. The How train that connects you from OR Tambo, within 15 minutes you're in Sandton, connecting to your Uber, 5 minutes you're in a hotel in Sandton. You can have 2 meetings, both in Gauteng and Cape Town in one day. And I can share my personal experience. I tried to do that when I first moved into Lagos early last year. I tried to have a meeting on the mainland and in VI, one at 9 o'clock in the morning and at 3 o'clock. I can assure you, I was unable to achieve that. And I think those of us who are based in Lagos would know exactly what happened.
I know where you're going.
But I think what that also tells you, and it truly is true what Stella was saying, connectivity, transportation, those are very critical, especially when you are talking, travelers and them having a quality visitor experience in a destination. And in South Africa, those are some of the things that from a tourism sector, as well as from a government perspective, particularly, with the advent of the World Cup in 2010, we truly benefited from that. And we are now able to benefit through that where, the flight lands from Lagos at 5:30 in the morning over Tambo. By 6:30, you're on the Gautrain train. 7 o'clock, you're in your meeting. And if you are wanting to fly back by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 3:30, you're on a flight back to Lagos. You've achieved what you had gone there for business, if that's indeed what you had to achieve. And that's just what connectivity can do for you. Now, the last part of my presentation, what I wanted to share with the room today is all these things is what South Africa as a destination has and how we package ourselves. And having moved into Nigeria last year, January, and now having had the benefit of staying in Lagos for a year, I can safely say now we've got a much more thorough, immersive experience of Nigeria, but most importantly, a thorough understanding of the challenges that Nigerians have in visiting South Africa as a tourist destination. And we really, truly are not shy about it. One of the things that I prefer to do, and is certainly known around the business, is we need to be true to the macro environment where we operate if we are really going to succeed. Now, what COVID-19 has presented us with is an opportunity to reflect as a destination. And reflection has indeed happened, and it has happened right across all the levels of government. To the extent that when COVID-19 happened, at the presidential level, we implemented a risk adjustment strategy. And what that meant is we went through 5 levels of managing the COVID-19 period, where level 5 with being a complete shutdown, and obviously now being in level 2, and now being in level 1 since last night. We are now slowly moving out of the lockdown. Why this is important is during the lockdown period, as a tourism sector, through our Minister of Tourism, we developed a tourism recovery strategy. And at the heart of this strategy is 10 key points that we came out with. And I would like to share 2 key things of this strategy that are really going to be meaningful for Nigeria. One, we've understood that the removal of barriers to travel is going to be a key success factor for South Africa. And I want to read this verbatim so that people understand where we are going as a destination. We understand that we need to partner with accountable departments within South Africa to remove barriers to travel and enable free entry where the policy allows, as well as reduce tourist crime and provide stronger personal safety and security guarantees. So this touches to one of the key factors that we know that is making travel difficult for Nigerians, the issue of visa. So that in itself is receiving the attention that it needs so that we make it that much more easier and accessible for Nigerians to visit South Africa. That for us is what the COVID-19 period has given us an opportunity to do. Over and above that, what it also then allowed us to do is to redefine our tourism value proposition as well as our key partners that we work with. So the importance of our travel partners in the market becomes very important, very critical. We cannot do the work alone. As South African tourism, we are marketers. We will create the demand. We will engage Nigerians. We will attract them to South Africa. But the actual South Africa as a package on the shelf will be sold by our travel trade partners. And I'm encouraged to see the people that are in the room today. I noticed that Uncle Femi, as an example, is in the room today. And indeed, that is quite encouraging for us because those are the people that are going to be able to package South Africa and make it presentable to the Nigerians to come visit, whether it's for corporate travel or those that are coming for leisure. And these are the key things that we've identified as South Africa, and not necessarily South African tourism, as the tourism sector of South Africa. And it also works on the same side as well, from the tourism product owners in South Africa, the hoteliers, the tour operators, the travel agents, how they package, how they sell South Africa. That becomes inherently very important in the whole value chain. And that is what our recovery strategy seeks to make sure that as a destination, we are prepared, we've created an enabling environment, we are proactively, engaging the barriers. Where we can, we are removing them. Where we can, we are making it much more simplified. If it's the case of e-visas or where there's the free entry, let's implement it. Let's be consistent, because ultimately those are the key things that we are going to make sure that we win as a destination. And on that note, I would just like to announce that as of last night, our president announced that South Africa will be opening on the 1st of October for international travel. And so we look forward to receiving all the international travelers. We look forward to having Nigerians come to South Africa. The only thing we don't know as yet is the countries, obviously, that are going to be open. But we are confident that in the continent, it will be open for the continent. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so. Wow. Don't you deserve a round of applause too? Because you're good at giving it to others. You've done a good job. Thank you so much. Do we have questions to ask him, or should we just rush off?
Can we have one question?
Yibokoko?
We have one question, ma'am.
Let's have it.
From Ellen.
Okay.
She said, please.
Who is asking the question?
Ellen Phoenix. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that well. He's asking,
yeah.
Please, can you give a high-level explanation?
Can you get this out of my...
Please, can you give a high-level explanation on hyper-personalization and what it entails?
Get this off.
Hyper-personalization means we've done a lot of research in understanding the consumer from Nigeria. We want to know that Mohammed, who comes from Lagos and works in Access Bank and is visiting South Africa to have training in Nigeria, what are some of the things that while Mohammed is in South Africa for a banking course, what is he looking to do? What is in Nigeria? So hyper-personalization means we will create a package that suits the needs of Mohammed, and it will create it in a manner that it also is affordable to Mohammed. So that's what hyper-personalization seeks to do. And the experiences in those things that we are packaging for Mohammed would be those that we know that they are things that Mohammed is looking for. Unlike in the past where we negotiated experiences that were based on what is available and people had to choose on that, we now want to make sure that we are consumer-centric and creating hyper-personalized packages that are talking directly to the people. I can use another example. One of the things that we've learned last year in my interventions, as an example, with the Polo community in Nigeria, I got to understand that their travel patterns and the things that they are interested in when they come to South Africa is completely different from what the general Nigerian would be looking for when they're coming for holiday in South Africa. So the things that we then package or make available to them as a destination in terms of experiences, hotels, things to do, where to eat, where to go, is very specific to what they are looking for. And we want to be sure that we are providing them with that. And that becomes quite important, particularly from how we partner with our partners in Nigeria and South Africa. So for example, Sonto in South Africa would then need to make sure that the experiences that she makes available to her partner who's sitting in Nigeria are talking exactly to what the Polo community person is looking for and not what we believe they need to be looking for. So we need to be that customer centric.
Okay, there's one more question. There's one more question I think is important to ask.
All right.
They said, Alex, I'm a witness of the beauty of South Africa. The biggest challenge is getting there. The time required to get a visa to South Africa, sometimes several months. What is the update on that, please?
So Yes, I did mention that the issue of visas is certainly something that has been identified. And it's, by the way, just to share with the meeting, it's not just us in Nigeria, it's quite a number of countries. Nigeria, China, I think India as well, they are experiencing the very same challenges that we experience. So it is for that reason I mentioned that in our sector recovery strategy, it's one of the key recommendations that has come out of that says at an integrated level, government needs to put interventions that seeks to remove or address travel barrier, specifically with reference to visa. So specific markets and countries have got interventions currently undergoing to see how they are going to address that. For example, if I was to talk to Nigeria, in November last year, our Minister of Tourism came to Nigeria and visited all our centers, all the embassies, particularly the one in Lagos, and she got to get immersed in the challenges that we are experiencing in Lagos in terms of the visa facilitation process, as well as the issuance. So it's something that at that particular level, it is receiving that attention. And obviously, I'm not at liberty at the moment to share what the interventions are, but it is receiving quite drastic attention to ensure that when we come out of this process, it's no longer the barrier that it was. I should, however, also recommend the embassies. Before we closed for COVID-19, they had already put in extra resources, as an example, in the embassies. Lagos alone had 3 extra people, so therefore we had about 5 resources and 4 in Abuja. And the whole idea, and that's obviously following the interventions of our minister. But we are hoping post-COVID-19, there's even much more that has been done to make it easier for Nigerians to go through the visa process.
I'd like to say something on behalf of the people. I'm going to assume that everybody on this call is involved in some way, shape, or form in the travel industry. And this visa question that you asked South Africa, I throw a question out to you. Take Dubai out of the equation, because that's a different situation, but how long does it take to get a visa to any other country in the world? People keep singling out South Africa, as Takiso pointed out, like there's a problem, with their process. It's still quicker than a USA or UK or Canada or India visa. So we in the industry, remember I talked about messaging. We in the industry need to create the right messaging around visas. Nigeria itself does not give anyone a visa in a 4-week time frame. So why should anyone else give it to them if we want to play the card that way? But we need to set the right travel expectations so that when your visa does come out in 4 weeks, you're actually happy because it fell within a normal time range.
Okay. All right. You've all heard it.
5 minutes from Stella alone.
I know. We need to move fast now.
No,
Stella, by the way, Stella, you've lost your ball.
Didier is the only reason I talk to Didier is because of his wife. If not for his wife, I wouldn't talk to him. So please don't let him talk to me. I have blocked him. I've blocked him.
Okay, I'm going to mute him. He's not going to talk ever.
No, you're not going to do that. She needs to listen to me. Remember last time we met, you said I should refer to you, Stella, like Auntie Stella. You're not serious.
Okay. Well, let's move on quickly.
We always meet in September, so yeah.
Yeah, it's a good month to meet. I think we've lost Ibokoko because he has to. I told you guys he had about 20 minutes. But he got 5 minutes. So let's just move on. Are you here? Oh, Ibo, you're here, please. Can we hear you? Go ahead, take the floor right away. Thank you.
All the things coming from Dubai and South Africa, I think you guys are just putting me on the back pedal anyway. My name is Ibokoko, and I'm from Rivers State, Nigeria. And Director General of the Rivers State Tourism Development Agency. And before 9 months ago, I used to do a dance called Seke. Seke is a dance which traces the American tap dance to the indigenous people of the core Niger Delta area, which is Rivers State in particular. I had a stint as head of production for Africa Magic, West Africa. I have a franchise with the Nigeria's Got Talent and also a judge on the Nigeria's Got Talent show. But right now, we're in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, making sure that we grow our tourism. So the whole topic today, Goge Africa, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity, is harnessing cultural assets of Rivers State for tourism development. Where's Rivers State? Rivers State, also known as the Gardens, the treasure base of Nigeria, is one of the 36 states of Nigeria with over 5 million population. So we're not too big, we're not too small, but just enough, to do the right thing. And like Stella said, and the questions came by with domestic tourism, right? So the heart of domestic tourism is generated from community-based tourism. And we're proud to say that that is what our strength is in Rivers State, with 23 LGAs, local government areas, and 26 ethnic groups in Rivers State. So tourism marketplace commodities within the domestic area, food, fashion, music, dance, art, crafts. These are what we have as our strength in trying to push an attraction for people to come into our space. Without joining issues with my dear sister Stella, we might not have those wonderful architectural designs, but our architecture is in our beautiful culture, the richness of our art form, which is what we're trying as best as we can to make people come into our space to see what we have. And if I can go just a little bit of history, in 1977, when the first ever Black Arts Festival in Nigeria was, in Africa was held in Nigeria, in Africa, was called Festac 77, held in Lagos. Rivers State was the only state that had the aquatic performance within the blue economy that attracted the likes of Jomo Kenyatta, Julius Nyerere, Kwame Nkrumah, all of the big wigs in 1977 that came to Rivers State to watch what they call the Odom Masquerade. The Odom Masquerade Festival is an aquatic performance of some of the best unique aquatic performances that you can see anywhere in the world. And it happened in Rivers State, in Okrika, with over 2,000 dancers on the sea performing. Wow. So what we're trying to do in Rivers State is how best can we tune into what the United Nations Tourism World Tourism Organization has said, is that we need to digitize our art forms for capacity building within this period of COVID-19 and going forward. So for us to be able to push what we have, for those who have not seen what we already have that we know about, is to start digitizing our art forms. So within the digital space, what are we doing with the SMEs? What is the federal government doing, the city, and what are investment people doing? We have to de-risk, to make risk assessment criteria, and that's what we're building in Rivers State, to see that we have people coming to invest, because what we have is unique in its entirety, and that's our food, which is unique, our culture, which is unique, our art form, which is unique, our music, which is basically across the 26 ethnic nationalities and the 23 local government areas of our state. Our uniqueness becomes what is our attraction. Now, in terms of travel, we know that what it is. We have our own, our international airport in Port Harcourt anyway, and you can travel straight into Port Harcourt without getting to Lagos. Same thing happens, that what you have heard before is not what is obtainable now, because The idea is to making sure that there's a streamline on value prospects with specific tourism marketplace products for partnerships in River State. And that's what we're trying to do coming to Goge Africa. For those who have not known River State from this point of view, that we have the best, because River State is a microcosm of what you have in the national space. So when it comes to sites, in all the 23 local government areas, we have the uniqueness of that. And the American tap dance, we say with all humility, evolved from our neck of the woods. Because when you trace the American tap dance and what they've done with their dance, and don't forget, African dance means business. And the business of dance comes in from our space. And that's why we want to start digitizing our assets for people to, where they are within the COVID era, see through what we have, that when, like Kalene says, don't say that the COVID-19 will go, but gradually we're building capacity, we're building interest, we're attracting people to come, because with the colors and clatter of River State, knowing that we have hospitality in terms of the hotel structures that we have, we're building this, trying to grow confidence for consumers there in our space, and for investors to know what we have for them to come into our space. So we thank Goge Africa, because for now, you've not heard River State from the point of view of tourism assets and for tourism potentials beyond infrastructural zoo and what we have with the tourist beach. But what we're trying to say is, when it comes to culture, when it comes to tradition, when it comes to food, when it comes to arts, these diversities are what we're building for us to have confidence in our prospective partners that will want to come into our state to partner with us, because with 5 million people plus within the space of River State, diversifying our art form on a digital platform, we want to grow capacity for people to begin to see inwards and come to River State and see what we have and enjoy the beauty of River State. Neka.
I'm here. Why are you looking for me? Am I in your car?
No, I'm packed, you know, so I don't, this is me. We're talking about harnessing our assets, you know, to grow confidence with all of the people here. So our job is to see that the best thing that we want to do is to have a discussion where we have people come to invest in what we have
in River State.
Yes, so that's my talk. I'm not going to banter with my South African colleague who believes that coming from mainland to the islands, come to Port Harcourt, from anywhere you can go around, you don't have to go slow.
Let me tell you, see, I've been in Lagos like all my life. I know how we get around. And if you're in such a hurry, you can contact pilots, Mr. Alex. He's got all those shuttles that can take you in 10 minutes to wherever you're going to in Lagos. So let's not even go there. And then, Ibo, you talked about River State, but I can tell you something for free. Do you know that somehow, I don't know how you guys have done it, but there is no Christmas I don't find myself in River State. Opobo, to be precise. I don't know if it's the food or the people or the dance that I get engaged with, and so many things. So you guys have it going on, just that the world don't know it, but they will.
Neka, so that's why I'm saying that. Incidentally, Stella, who is in Dubai.
I know, is from Opobo. I know. Yeah. I always go to her family house. Don't mind that.
Okay, so you know, so what we're saying is that the world is yet to know what we have in River State. And I can tell you free of charge that Stella is pushing me and the whole thing about River State tourism, because she knows the potentials. Her family, her father, her sisters are curating our art forms. And over the years, the history of River State and the space of art and tourism has been submerged for so long that this is our chance, you know, to push that beauty. This is our chance, and we thank Goge Africa and of course Dubai tourism. You know, in as much as everybody wants to go to Dubai, we also come to River State. And like what Stella said, the attraction with Dubai is the diversity of having packages for everyone. You know, you can do a stopover in Dubai. They come. So we're also attaching that stopover for River State as well. And if we can, Emirates can fly straight to Port Harcourt. And these are the strategies that we're working on, because Port Harcourt is a one-stop. There is nowhere in the world, and I can say this with thumbs up, and I make bold to say that the rich cultural heritage of the Riversman is one of the major things that was taken away to Europe and America. And what we're now doing now is to pack up all of those things and bring them, stimulating our people and encouraging more to come into the States. And that's the whole idea of the River State local tourism, to attracting people into the States.
You can highlight the campaign that we're going to be embarking on. Don't give details, just highlight the campaign that we're embarking on between Dubai Tourism and River State.
I see these Rivers people have come.
Go ahead. There is an agenda.
Yes.
I cannot be the one to say it. Ibo can say it at a very high level because he's a CEO. I'm not a CEO.
Exactly. Ibo, are you still there?
I think he's frozen.
He's frozen. Well, one other thing, while you embark on that campaign, which I know I would love very much, I can say this to you. Maybe you don't know it.
No, Goge, we have our own campaign for you. You've not responded to the email.
I did.
I'm privy to the fact that you're going to...
I did.
Please. Stella, you can't be bringing that
now,
up here in
you're talking Dubai now. Leave Dubai. Let's talk about Nigeria. And remember, if you don't know Ibo and Stella, you see the reverse culture is like magnets. This one, you guys, Ibo keeps saying we are pushing it. He's not pushing anything. For anybody that, in fact, let's use Seki. For anybody that has seen that dance drama, the next thing you want is to go where it originated from. So your culture is magnetic. And Nigeria, by the way, is the fashion capital of the world, in case you don't know it. So there's every good reason to come to Nigeria. And when I talk about Ethiopia, that is the origin. You want me to talk about South Africa? In fact, the first time I went to South Africa, honestly, it was the waterfront and the Table Mountain that got me going. And guess what? This was in 2002. All right.
Sorry, my phone died, so I'm off. Sorry that my phone
don't worry, it's good. We completed it for you. I just reminded everybody that your culture is magnetic. So don't worry, because Oshu State people are raring to go.
I'm sure a lot of people would love to visit River State to really experience what Ibo is saying. And when you see that Seki dance, when you see the Seki dance Ibo is talking about, he's been very modest. Honestly, that dance is a world-class genre in dance. It is.
Ibo, please drop your contact. They're asking in the group chat. They want your contact. Go ahead and drop it for them. My Oga CEO, Ambassador Isaac Moses.
That's right.
Oshu State is here. The commissioner, the SSA to the governor. Ooh. And I really want Oshu State to share with us what Oshu has to offer in 10 minutes. Even though I was in Oshu last week, and I'm going back again next week. We're going to be hosted at the Ife Grand Resort. That's like Goge Africa and Friends. But let's leave it at that. Please.
Thank you,
Honorable Commissioner, sit the floor, yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Honorable Commissioner, good to have you here.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
It's nice being on this platform. Once again, I thank you for your last week money, and I appreciate you are playing in bridging the gap between domestic tourism and international tourism.
Thank you.
Let me start by saying that you must ask the question, what is unique about Osun? That relates to the topic of this platform. It's cross-sectoral collaboration for domestic economic development. for us to have collaboration, it is a function of endowment. What are we endowed with? So as state, we are naturally endowed with some big forms that are of unique attraction to tourists. One, this is the source of Black people. Osun is the source of Black people. It's the source because Ife is the source of all Black race. If you get to Oduduwa today, you will see the map of Africa engraved naturally in this yard. That gives us conviction that this race, which we call Black, came from Ile-Ife, which is Osun State. There are other natural endowments which are of unique nature. When you came, you saw a waterfall. We took you to Owaladu. We know Ayikunuba waterfall. And some other blessings like that permit tourism to flourish in the state of Osun. If you go to today, we are looking at domestic tourism. And our people in diaspora, the Black in diaspora, are looking forward to see where they can come, particularly in Africa. If you go to Badagry, one pertinent question they normally raise is that, yes, you said slaves are going to this place, to Ghana, to other Western world.
Sorry, that board that is showing us is actually facing our office. When we went for site inspection last week.
Hello, sir. You muted yourself.
Hello.
I can't hear you. Okay, you're back again. Please go
Hello.
ahead, sir. Hello.
Okay. Now, the historic points, Yoruba passed through many wars. We have two wars that are very, very unique to Yoruba race and essential. That's the Kiriji War and Jalume War. We all know that Kiriji War took place in Osun. The warlord in Igbajo, why the Parapo and Jesha warlord are in Imesi, which is in Osun State. So we have these historic points that make Osun unique for us to visit. As tourists, what are those things that motivate you to go to it? The first one is physical. I'm pleased to tell you that Osun State is one unique place you can come to for rest. Apart from this endowment, Osun is one of the most peaceful states in Nigeria today. I want to say it's the most peaceful state in Nigeria today. Then people will travel to participate in sports. In Osun, we have for this, and we are catching on it. People travel to enjoy recreation at beach. Yes, Osun is not to beach, but yes, because of endowment. For example, Owala Dam. Owala Dam is when you get to the site, it's like you are at the beach. So it's an endowment, and we have relaxing entertainment. People want to relax with entertainment. Today, if you come to Osun, you can be welcomed many traditional things. Entertainment, traditional form, juju music, arrow music, agbala music, and some other entertainment forms that are unique to us. People travel for earth reading. Yes, both traditional earth matters and conventional earth matters are available here. OAU here, Obafemi Awolowo University, is a unique place where we have best treatment, one of the best you can have in Africa. So another reason why people travel is for cultural purpose. Desire to know more about people's culture because of the unique nature of Osun and because of our strategic position to Yoruba race. It's a place people, both in diaspora, come to visit, to come and see more about what we have in terms of culture. We are custodian of it. In terms of music, there are more than 100 music that was played. Agidigbo is there, Bata is there, so many of them like that we are endowed in. It's a cultural thing that we have. Artists, this is the home of artists, hope you know. Osun is the home of artists. A lot of artists today talk of sculpture. Fakeye is from here. Fakeye is a household name in arts in America, all over the world. So when you talk of artists, if you look at the Nollywood Day, they are all there. But Day is there, Latin is there, and some of them that are French artists, you can imagine they are all of Osun State. Because we are concerned with culture, we have a lot of museums that people can visit at will. Get to Ife, you see Ife Museum. Get La, you see La Museum. Iraguji, we have museum. And there are so many that are trying as much as possible to upgrade them to the standard from international perspective, they can be presentable. We have festivals. For the festivals, we have those who have cut across. Osun-Osogbo Festival is one. Osogbo is a UNESCO center. And it attracts more than 100,000 people annually for the festivals, both at home and in Dara. We have the festival at Ile. We have Ude Jesha Festival. We have Isiro Festival in Ogiyan Festival in Nigeria, and some other festivals like that across the state, which are things that come, you have to visit and see. In terms of interpersonal relations, people to make friends. The law of this state, and let me say the ethos, is Omoluabi. So if you want to visit a place, you must visit a place that people will interact with you, people with hospitality mind. So this is the best place you can. Omoluabi ethos, we welcome you, we give you the best quality you can get throughout the world. Then, for people travel for prestige, they want to know more, they want status to be engaged. And in doing this, they travel for business purpose. You come to Osun is basically a Greek state. We are just looking at a way to break through into tourism. So as a Greek state, there are things you want here that you don't get. You want land, we plant some other things that people eat in home and diaspora, in fish, and anything you need in Greek, you can get there. There is mineral in large quantity. Talk of gold, talk of bauxite, talk of some other minerals that you can exploit here. They are here in large number. Interbusiness provision is a place where people can settle and do business, relax, and go on your business without stress. So conventionally, people meet on hand basis, on religious basis. Let me tell you, because the strategic position of Osun today, the Catholic Church has a mountain which we call Maria, is for Catholics and some denomination in Christianity. This attracts more than 500,000 pilgrims on an annual basis. Then the Muslim too, they have a spot here that attracts people on annual basis. Even intermittent people go there to pray. The allow rock in Petu Jesha is there for us to develop. So some come, you get a place for study and research purpose. In Osun, about 12 universities, private and federal. So they are there for us to exploit. I now come to the beginning of this lesson. Private partnership. These are motivations. What we are public and private. These are the two basic skills that we have. What do we have as state for public to gravitate to? One, Olumere waterfall. Olumere waterfall has about 7 layers where people can go, you recreate. It's a very attractive site. As I'm talking to you, it's an attraction. we are planning, we are working hard, and inviting the public to make this place a destination. We are working hard to ensure that we do investment play to people so that they partake in the development of Olumere. Apart from Olumere, Ayekunigba Waterfall, Ayekunigba Waterfall has a unique feature too, and it's inviting where they are with very good topography, and people, even without opening it, people are coming from walks of life to visit the place. Then apart from, we have Owala Dam. Owala Dam is like when you are in beach, it's a sight you must visit. All these is an attraction. Attraction that are waiting the pass. And we are using this forum to invite people to partake in the development of this site. As government, we open ourselves to what bring this attraction to destination. First, our government believe.
Hello, sir.
Our government believe. Our government believes that there is no business of God in business.
Honorable
okay,
sir.
I see that the honorable timekeeper
Hello
is communicating with the honorable
Hello.
commissioner. Yes, hello, sir. Your time is
Hello.
up. Actually, we can hear you, sir.
Are you there?
Yes, we are here,
Yes, sir. We can hear
we are
you.
very happy
Okay.
with your presentation.
So
Your time is already up, so
we
we'll
believe.
just let you round up in a minute. You're supposed to round up, so it's 10 minutes. The next speaker from South Africa
Hello?
is waiting to take over.
So just give me 2 minutes more. So to wrap it up, we have a product upon which we weave all these things around, which is Karele Odua. Karele Odua is Yoruba traditional religion immersion image. Where on annual basis, we are expecting Yorubas in diaspora to partake in traditional religion, in culture, in tourism, and in education, so that we can bring integration. It is a product that aims at integrating Yorubas, both at the diaspora, and to move forward. We open ourselves for development of sites. We open ourselves for move of people from diaspora to state. We open ourselves for growth and traffic of tourists to this state. We assure you of hospitality. We assure you of good hospitality, of good road, of transportation, and other things that can make tourists and our state investmently. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. You did so well. But the thing is, you're humble. Oshu people are humble. You don't even blow your trumpet as loud as it should sound. People hear about the Ooni of Ife. Where is he residing? Right there in Oshu State. People travel from all over just to meet him. That's one product you have already. So, but thank you so very much. I've been to Oshu. I can testify to that. And you guys have so much in terms of mining. And I'm sure Borg Investments is here and they're interested. And with time, we're going to pull you guys together and something good will come out of it. On that note, if there are questions, Nena, you let me know later. Let's move on quickly to somebody who Stella said should not speak. But he has to speak because my ears are itching. Didier Bayeye is an African tourism expert and he's with... he's the manager, Africa Middle East Sun International. That's a huge hotel chain from South Africa. You got the floor, sir.
Thank you.
Unmute yourself.
Yeah, I just did. Am I still muted?
Okay.
I guess I just did.
Yeah, so we're very interested in finding out how to build the confidence of tourists in this pandemic period to make them travel. Because like some of our speakers already told us, and like we know, COVID is not in a hurry to leave.
Yeah.
So we have to manage it somehow and still go about our businesses.
Great. Thanks for the floor. And first of all, I would like to start by thanking you for the opportunity. And the whole team of Goge, right? And thanks again to all the panelists who spoke before me. except though Auntie Stella took more time, but it's okay. I will try to.
She does that all the time.
Try to not to take so much time like she did. And I would like also to acknowledge and greet the presence of everybody. I will not be able to mention everybody's name, but those I can see, I can just mention quickly, starting with Honorable and Excellency Ambassador of Ethiopia in Nigeria, who's here, and all any other ambassador here in the house. I greet you, the head of tourism body, and Tekisto just spoke before me from the head of South African tourism, West Africa. And I see many more of my colleagues and friends from South African tourism, Nigeria, Jennifer, Tinuke, Mohammed. I would like to greet and mention Mr. Olufemi, who's always there in even the previous webinar we had. Thank you so much, sir, for always being there. Efe Tobo, good to see you again, sir. And I would like to acknowledge somebody in a particular manner, Mr. Romuald. Mr. Romuald is the MD of, it's called Ubuntu Voyage. He taught me something when we were speaking earlier today. He's based in the eastern part of the DRC, very close to the border with Rwanda. And he said to me that South Africa is the first country that sends tourists to the DRC. I know for a fact that there are now few South Africans going to the DRC just to explore, especially the magnificent landscape in the eastern part, but I didn't know it was the very first African country to send tourists that side. And you doing a great job, sir. Thank you so much. And thanks to everyone. I will talk about building confidence for tourists. Now, I was made aware that this is a conference. It's not just a Zoom meeting. This is a conference, and conference has its own protocol to follow and things to do and whatnot. So during this expose, first of all, let me make you laugh. I received an invite. They got all my details right, my title and all that. But when it says topic, the topic I was supposed to speak about was saying South African tourism. I'm like, okay, what am I, why do I have to tell people about South African tourism? So I start thinking the names of everyone I know in South African tourism. I was gonna present all of them and tell you their names. But we had to change that. And I had to speak about building confidence for tourists. Before going there, let me just go back and also give you my profile like I've seen many people doing. Next year, I will be 20 years in travel and tourism industry. I started with a very humble beginning from a tour operator company. I've went through different stages of the travel industry. From a tour operator, but I've also worked for, I'm grateful I worked for some of the great company that has great impact in terms of tourism in Africa, such as Wilderness Safaris. And I also worked for Abercrombie and Kent. Sanctuary, it used to be Sanctuary Retreats, Sanctuary Lodges. Now it's called Sanctuary Retreats. And I developed a project that is owned by one of the biggest French tour operator company here in Johannesburg. Declared a heritage site by the city of Johannesburg. It is a house that Mahatma Gandhi lived in South Africa, in Johannesburg, and developed the passive resistance movement before going back to India and become the fighter of the Indian democracy. So today it's called the Satyagraha House. I was the man behind driving this project from scratch and until it opened up today it's accredited as a heritage site. So, and receives international tourists. And in terms of studies, by studies, I am qualified Africa tourism expert. I will tell you why. Recently, which is to be precise last month, I have gotten my 4th degree in advanced tourism and hospitality management from the Galway University in Ireland. If it was not for the lockdown and all that, I would have been there. So that is the 4th one. And for all my studies and focus has always been Africa. And I've chosen African tourism to study and research and read many reports that's been done in terms of Africa. So this includes tourism promotion and development, tourism marketing. Of course, I've mentioned advanced deployment, tourism and hospitality management. So,
Didier, but you know your profile is in the chat room.
I know. Oh,
okay.
It's there. It's okay.
It's there. We placed it there.
So I just
they all know.
I thought,
okay. Let us know how to get the tourists back.
It's
let
okay.
us know how to get the
don't worry.
tourists back.
I'm looking at my time. I'm not even 1/4 of Auntie Stella. So
you have 5 minutes left, Didier.
Don't worry. I'm managing my time very well. I know what to do with my time. Okay. This topic I've started. We cannot talk about building confidence if the confidence, either the confidence is lacking or the confidence has been destroyed. Now, talking of lack of confidence or confidence that has been destroyed, it could be either 2 main elements have been identified. The abstract one and also the concrete one. But looking at the circumstances and what the whole world is facing today, I will speak about the abstract one because we all know it is about the COVID-19. Now, talking of the COVID-19 as a challenge that has taken confidence away from many tourists. We are now in a stage and point of time. As much as we want to relaunch tourism, we want to see tourism activities back on track. We want to see ourselves moving around, traveling, receiving people, welcoming foreigners to our shores. And here I'm just talking of tourism in general, and then I will finish with a remedy. And the remedy is based on what an amazing hospitality, gaming, and entertainment group has implemented and put into place by the name of Sun International in order to rebuild the confidence in terms of tourists and when they travel in any, to our properties, but which I would also love to share with you. Now, on the abstract challenges, we do have something called disaster. This is part of it, falls under natural disaster. Nobody has planned it. It's like earthquake or anything else natural that can cause chaos into a country, a city, or a destination. Now, we are facing an international challenge. This has become a point of focus. On the previous webinars I've said to people that there is a new luxury on the block that we all need to be aware of, because whether travelers or tourists are mentioning it or talking about it or not, but we need to keep in the back of our minds that they definitely need to be assured about this, and that is the COVID-19. Now, COVID-19 is here. How do we build confidence for tourists to travel. It is no longer about telling people how bling bling the place is. That is good to know. It is no longer about telling people how expensive the furnitures, the couch, the bed, the linens are in a hotel. It is sometimes not really important. It doesn't really matter so much to speak about the location before assuring the tourist, the travel sector, and the guests that they are very much safe in a specific destination. Now, how do we do this? This thing is here. On this expose, it is as well a challenge which I'm throwing to each and every one of us, because as much as we get excited that the borders are opening, COVID-19 is not gone yet. So we need to watch and make sure we pass the message to those close to us, to our loved ones, friends, relatives, so that we can all stay safe until we overcome completely the COVID-19. Now, how do we handle this? Like I said, I will bring you back to an organization I represent in African Indian Ocean, not Middle East, but African Indian Ocean, that is Sun International. Now, we had to implement measures, okay, that will deal with the COVID-19 situation and maintaining, keeping the people, the travelers and the tourists safe and building confidence. Because luxury in terms of food, linen, and building, it's no longer priority. People want to know, where is the safety? Is it safe where I'm going? Are we going to be safe? What is the rate of infection in a destination? This is very, very important. So one of the measures Sun International we have put in place, we understand that one of the biggest assets in every business is, first of all, the staff, the people. Number one, training the staff. All the staff, irrespective of where they work and operate in an establishment, in a hotel establishment, in a hosting establishment, they've all been through COVID-19 training. Why is this important? So that they know how to protect themselves and also how to protect and take care of the guests that are coming into our hotels. This is very, very important. It is not just about putting hand sanitizer for people to come spray and sanitize their hands and walk, but sometimes they need to get knowledge of the symptoms. There are people that are symptomatic. The staff of establishment, every hospitality establishment, there are many protocols that have been developed. These are just the few ones that I'm mentioning. Beside the training of the staff, of course, the separation, for example, on the front counter, the reception, there is a glass between the front desk staff and the guests that are walking in, so that even as they interact, there is no fragment of saliva that is moving on the other side. And thirdly, each and every person and staff is provided with the mask, and this is compulsory. Fourthly, we have implemented, or we are using, the scanners. I've gone into different places. I see that before you walk in, you get scanned, but this scans the hand of the person scanning is coming really very close to the body. But we have the scanners that allow the tourist or the visitor to stand about 3 meters away and get scanned. Only if the temperature is within the acceptable temperature in terms of the COVID-19, then they are allowed to come forward, sanitize themselves. And not only that, we have placed the flat screens at every entrance where they need to put in their information, just answer the screening, which we call the screening, answer the few screening related questions in terms of COVID-19. Then based on this, they get the green light to go through the property, or the red, which means that they need to seek medical attention. So this becomes the main luxury, and this will make great impact in terms of the travelers. So what we are saying, what I've said to you now, just to be specific also, it's something that I work on it recently on a paper of Professor Akabue Okaredia, who spoke about promoting tourism in developing economies, challenges, and prospect. So this is part of the first step. Each establishment that is serious about seeing tourists, seeing improvement, and the industry moving back, going back on track, they need to start by implementing this. I've interacted with my colleagues in the industry. Some places where I just hear all they've done is to put in hand sanitizers. And that's all. So this goes, because of time, I might not be able to elaborate everything. This goes from changing the linen constantly, the room being sanitized between the change of guests. This is very, very important. We have now, it depends also on the type of establishment or property. Property like Sun City, which doesn't always receive the staying guest, but also receives the day visitors, at the moment is still not receiving day visitors. People allowed into the resort are only the people that are coming, that are staying within the hotels in the resort, or those that are coming for the golf. But properties like Maslow in Santon, which is located in the business hub, or the Table Bay in Cape Town, which is located right at the waterfront and known as the best address in Cape Town. These ones will implement, anybody can come into the hotel. There's no really activity in terms of attraction that people can come and do in the hotel, except, you know, the basic hotel services. So for people that are coming, either to join for a meeting or lunch, they all go through this scanning process. So this is one of the main the hospitality should focus on in order
you have
build
2 minutes, sir. Thank you.
In order to build the confidence. So the confidence right now, in my 1 or 2 minutes left, the confidence right now lies on how safe a destination is, how safe a property is, how safe the whole environment is. Now, before I finish, like I said earlier, we can put all these measures in place. If ourselves as people, we don't respect the social distancing or the norms that will prevent us from contracting the COVID-19, then it will still backfire and affect the industry, because this doesn't really depend on the country of origin of the tourist, but on the country of destination where the tourists are traveling. So we all need to be aware of that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Didier. You really did manage your time very well, and it's important. Yes, it's very important that every destination that is interested in receiving visitors become COVID-19 compliant. There are regulations. I also belong to ISO, the part of them that is working on COVID-19 rules and regulations. So, and also that of Nigeria, SON, Standard Organization of Nigeria. So I know exactly what you're saying. There are standards for hospitality, even for every department, every sector. There is a standard, even for transportation. And I just pray that people adhere to it so that we can all stay safe. Questions for you will be left in the chat room, because if anybody asks you one question now, you're going to take another 20 minutes.
Oh, when it comes to me, you're becoming strict. What happened to
it's only
Dubai?
Stella said we should only talk to your wife. I shouldn't let you talk.
It's okay. Next time you send the invite, she will be the one talking, not me.
No. I'll talk to her in the house.
Oh, she appears. I'm done. Bye.
Thank you so much, Didier. We really appreciate your being. But I have personal questions that I'm going to. For any other person, send your questions across. You'll get it via email. Now,
so let's get on to the interactive session.
Yes. We're going to have a come on the role of the tour operator in Nigeria's tourism drive. Incidentally, Efe is not just the founder of Nigeria Travel Week. He also runs Avant-Garde tour company. He's also a member of the domestic tourism committee. So Efe has his hands full. Efe, please come on and let's hear you. And Princess Ime Udo, the managing director of Leadway Tours, is here. She and Efe and Sonto. Sonto, you're still here, I hope. Sonto is the managing director of Nando Travel and Tours, South Africa. Let us compare notes. Let's see what exactly is happening in South Africa with tour operators. What sort of support are you getting, whether from your government or people? How do you do what you do that it works for you? And Princess here will also talk about how we do what we do in Nigeria and what we need to do for it to work better for us. Efe, since you're the man, the only man standing, you're a strong man. Let's have you, please, Efe. We cede the floor to you.
Okay, thank you, and good evening, everyone. It's great to be in this house and to listen to all of the wonderful people who have spoken before us. Concerning tour operations, I'd like to say that this is probably the weakest link for Nigerian tourism. This is so because everyone here knows that we do have all of the attractions. Well, not many man-made attractions. We will not even compare with Dubai or South Africa, but of course, all of the natural attractions. And the good thing with tourism is that you can thrive with your own unique attractions. So there is no need for us to strive to be a Dubai. Yes, it will be nice, but then with tourism, it's about looking inwards and thinking about your own peculiar strengths and positives. And what do we have that's going for us? Our culture and ecotourism attractions. So I'm sure that over 70 or 80% of the people in this house do not know that Nigeria has the most waterfalls in Africa, for example. So for Nigeria Travel Week, we did a research last year, and we have a list of over 50 waterfalls alone now. And that list is not conclusive because, of course, in the Mambila Plateau alone, there are tens of waterfalls. So before I start talking about all of those beautiful attractions, what does the tour operator do, and why do I say that this is the weakest link right now for Nigerian tourism? The tour operator is the one who creatively brings together all of these other components of tourism and builds them into a package. The tour operator practically makes it a business. So if we have all of these attractions, if we have all of the best messaging, just like Stella said, but we don't have the business worked out, then we will fail. Let me give you an example. I don't know anybody who plans to start an FMCG business that does not think of the distributors. You know, one of the first things you do is to look out for the strongest distributors for the markets that you're interested in. And that's what the tour operators do. So whether it is that it is water, pure water, or kwekere that you have in your attraction, the tour operator creates an experience out of that. And if you look at all of the strong tourism destinations around the world, look at South African tourism, for example. Every year, South African tourism visits Nigeria at least twice. Of course, they have the standby office in Nigeria, but you have those trade shows where they come with their tour operators, who then come with products to sell to our travel agents. Dubai tourism does the same, and all of the other tourism destinations. If we don't strengthen that business chain, the travel value chain in Nigeria, then it becomes, a hard sell for us to do. So over the past few weeks, thankfully, this we're working on, and I think that going forward, there's going to be a lot of change. But of course, tour operators now have to take up that challenge and start to create experiences, and also then stop to also try to do everything. And that's where we're talking about the chain. the travel trade has to work in such a way that everyone understands their roles and fulfills their roles. The tour operator here is often creating packages and trying to sell. Nowhere else does this happen. And what it means is that the average tour operator does not have the skills of a travel agent. And when you then try to venture into the roles of a travel agent, then we do not get the right numbers. Because at the end of the day, tourism is about numbers. I mean, we have over 3,000 travel agents in Nigeria. So why are they not selling Nigerian products? When we sell Dubai as a destination, when we sell South Africa or Ethiopia or every other destination, the question is, how does this work? You know, the travel agent contacts a ground handler or a tour operator in those destinations who gives them those packages and who then gives them, you know, either net rates or a commission, and then the travel agent sells to his own markets. So that is this very strategic role that the tour operator does in the whole tourism value chain. I like to use the analogy of a human being, and I think that I will not be wrong to say that the tour operator is the heart of the person. And so you then have the tour operator working with the DMO, like a Dubai Tourism or the South African Tourism or every other tourism board, who I would say is like the brain, you know. And then of course you have the hotel and the F&B and recreation and all other sectors that work together. But without the heart pumping blood to all of these areas, without the tour operator creating products out of all of these things, then it becomes a hard sell. This is so because at the end of the day, the consumer has a lot of options. He has a lot of choices. So nobody has the time to start sitting down to do, where is Port Harcourt? How do I get to Port Harcourt? What airline will I fly? Where will I stay? What do I do? The consumer has very little time. What they want to do is to be able to speak to their travel agent and get a package. 3 nights in Port Harcourt, 3 nights in Oshobo or Ife or wherever, knowing that they are covered. Whether it is 3 nights or 5 nights or 1 week, they know that someone has spent his time and used his experience to create a memorable, you know, package for him that he can buy into. So we have to get to that point where we see tourism as a business, and as we build as we make all of the noise about our attractions, as we look at all of those government policies that we want to build to strengthen our tourism, we're also looking at that chain. Why is it not working now? How do we strengthen it? How do we empower our tour operators to be able to do more than they are doing right now? And then at the end of the day, we'll then see that the tour operators are creating these beautiful packages and then selling to travel agencies. So it's very important that we understand, even though there is a blurry line now because of the way you know, the whole tourism industry is between the travel agent and the tour operator, it's very important that we understand that first and foremost, the tour operator is the one who creates these packages. So he's a product owner. On the other hand, the travel agent sells the products that have been created by the travel agent. So an example I'll give is you want to buy, say, a perfume, for example. So you can decide to go directly to the shop of a brand or a factory of a perfume maker, or you can decide to go to a shop, to the mall that sells different perfumes. So when you go to a travel agent, you have a number of options and then you can buy. But then when you go to the manufacturer, you know you can only buy from that product. So that's basically the major difference between a tour operator and a travel agent. So I think we should do more to strengthen that. And thankfully, tour operators in Nigeria are taking that challenge seriously. In the next few days or weeks, you will see a massive campaign for domestic tourism in Nigeria. And I believe that when we do this, we are going to be able to help not just Nigeria, but also the continent. And I'd like to end with this. I think that Nigeria is letting the rest of Africa down. You know, when you have a country of 200 million people, and the percentage of those who appreciate tourism is very much less than 10%, then it means that we're depriving the continent of you know, massive numbers. And as a tour operator, I know, because I'm also first and foremost a travel agent as well, I know so many times when people come to me and say, look, I want a trip for summer, but anywhere outside Africa. And that beats me. It really makes me sad, because the perception is that Africa is not good enough for tourism. Africa is not good enough for a holiday. But if we're able to sell to them Nigeria, we have the same kind of attractions closely, ecotourism, adventure attraction that you find around the rest of Africa. So we are able to gradually, build the appreciation for tourism within Nigerians and increase the numbers who can then go around the continent and, of course, ensure that we spend naira or dollar on the African continent. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, stay there, because Zach, I think Imeldo, right? And the South African lady, we need to have them share their experiences. It's not like a talk we're listening to them, but we really need to hear their experiences and see where we can learn from each other.
It's important. It's important. So without wasting further time, let's invite Imeldo of CEO, the CEO Leadway Tours. And Somto, yes. Ladies.
So Ime, let's hear you. Ladies in the house. Hello, Ime. Hello, Ime, Somto.
Can you all hear me?
Finally, yes.
Good, good. Good evening, everyone. It's awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be on this webinar this afternoon. My greetings to everyone, all the speakers. I just want to stand on existing protocols. Going straight to the point, seeing that I really don't have much time to speak. Basically talking about my experience as a tour operator. I've been introduced, the CEO of Leadway Tours and Travel. I've been in the industry of tour operation. I've been in tour operation business for about 18 years, 17 to 18 years now. And I actually have gained quite a lot of knowledge, experience, exposure doing the business of tour operation. So that I can fast track, I could run fast. The business of tour operation has, what has been my experience? It's been excellent, it's been good, it's also not been too good. It's just a combination of everything. It's been excellent in the sense that it has enabled me, it's given me the opportunity to be able to express my passion. It's given me the opportunity to be able to travel, to meet people, discover new places, discover strength, create products, connect with other industry players, service providers, build exciting and very unique packages, leave lasting impressions in the minds of tourists. You're happy when you render a service, and then you're appreciated for the service you've rendered, and then people want to experience that same experience over and over again. And I think that is what the business of tour operation is all about. It's about giving experience. People want to pay for experiences, not really just paying for products. People want to pay for experiences. I have been opportune to do both the inbound and the outbound tours. And I would say from doing and even the domestic tours, that's within Nigeria as it were. Now, as a tour operator in Nigeria, what would I say have been my highlights? Highlights in the sense that I discovered that in Nigeria, for instance, we do have, but Nigeria is an amazing product. I could start from there. Why am I saying it's an amazing product? I haven't visited vast places. I haven't visited quite a number of places like I should in Nigeria. But even the very few places I have visited in Nigeria, I would say, and places that I've been able to do packages to, they have been very unique, very exciting, places that promise a lot of, places that are very promising, places if properly harnessed will create the much needed economic diversification growth you need, within the area. So when I say it's amazing, it's because these products are not just only natural products, but they're products that can also be improved upon. Now, as a tour operator, I see tour operators in Nigeria as very dynamic, very, very dynamic. I know if I said it was most likely the weakest link. I stand to disagree because the weakest link will mean that they are the ones who contribute the least to the entire whole. But I would say in the business of tourism in Nigeria, for instance, I would say tour operators in Nigeria, and as a tour operator in Nigeria, the passion for the industry, the passion for the business has driven a lot of tour operators to come up with dynamic products, packages, not just, they're not just wholesale buyers, they're not just buyers who sell bulk packages or manufacture packaged tours. No, but most importantly, they are bent on promoting the destination. And I think that's the highlight of the entire work of a tour operator, promoting the destination.
Let me quickly jump in. Just 1 minute. Was a dynamic. I agree with you. I hope you can still hear me.
Yes, I can.
I agree with you because I see Dubai, I see South Africa, I see Kenya, and the rest of them come to Nigeria to try to woo our tour operators. Because I'm one, I know what they do. So a lot of us sell their packages. Why is Nigeria not selling Nigeria? What are the challenges as a tour operator that is keeping you back from selling Nigeria?
Yeah, I'm getting there. What I wanted to do was just to try and do an intro, and then I'm going to get there. Like I said,
I didn't want to miss that.
Yes, we have tour operators who are very dynamic and most importantly, very passionate and very creative as well. So you can see that even using Nigeria as a focus, we have products that are not as developed as we see in other places we've been to. But then you see tour operators who are able to identify these products and create something out of nothing, just to be able to sell a package. Now, what are the challenges? Why are we not able to translate our dynamism into excellence, into money in our pockets and food on the table, into creating the necessary GDP and economic, whatever we want to see? It's because I would say that the challenges I have faced personally, because I have run the business as a tour operator on my own without the necessary support that should be given, in the sense that at the end of the day, doing the tour operation business, I have to provide my own transport, I have to create my own security, I have to do my own everything. Now, if I had the necessary support I needed, now when I listen to Stella's, when I listen to Tekiso, they talk about the fact that it was important for them to lay policies, strategies, that will enable the people they needed to work with, the partners in the industry. It was very key for them to ensure that these policies are laid down. Strategies, things that would help sustain the businesses of the tour operator. It was very paramount and very key, to them. And I think that is what we find missing here in Nigeria. The necessary support that tour operators need to be able to do the business of tour operation effectively. I will give you an instance. As a tour operator, I was trying to drive in markets into Nigeria so that I could build Nigeria as a destination and sell Nigeria. It cost me so much to go all the way to China to go and do my own exhibition. Yes, my own marketing, my own exhibition. I had to go all the way to Barbados. I had to go all the way to UK. I had to go all the way, for every time I wanted to improve and increase my market, I had to do it myself. Now, it's challenging for me because you ask me, how do you get the funds to do all of this? Then at that point, you see, I have to look for funds from elsewhere to invest into my business to be able to do that. Now, we talk about marketing. When we listen to the earlier speakers, we talk about the fact that marketing is very important to be able to grow and promote any destination. So you find out that when the tour operator, even though we become destination promoters, it is not our duty as such, to take charge, full control of the marketing of that destination. We must be able to do it in partnership with the desired necessary stakeholders, the owners of the. I will give you an instance. I want to do a promotion to Osun State, for instance. I'm using Osun State because of so many states. One of the very few states, but one of the Honorable Commissioner present invited us to do a farm trip. Invited us on a farm trip to Osun to be able to expose the offerings of Osun State, so that as tour operator, we're able to see what it has, to come up with ideas on how these products can be sold. Now, that is what I expect every other
state and every other stakeholder in the industry to the tour operator to enable the tour operator sell this destination. Now, as a tour operator in Nigeria, this is lacking. This is where the disconnect is between the tour operator and the stakeholders. And this is what I hope we want to see done, by this entire webinar. It's where we can bridge the gap, where the stakeholder can ask, where are you focusing on? Right now, we see a lot of tour operators out there, even in the midst of this COVID era, trying to do tours and going to places that people ordinarily would not go to, discovering new sites. Now, these tour operators need the relevant support to be able to translate those sites into destinations, those attractions into destinations where you can grow and drive in traffic. Because once you're able to drive in traffic into those attractions, what you do is that you stimulate the economy. You cause money to flow. You help build the business of the tour operator. You help people. You help the entire destination become more aware. People become more aware of that destination, even within Nigeria as a whole. So for me, there is a disconnect between the tour operator.
People are already asking you questions, so let's make it as interactive as possible. Nena, I see some questions in the chat room. Can you just read out some of them for her so she can address it immediately? And then also allow her South African counterpart to share some information as well. All right.
Okay, so this is a question from Munjoku. So what is FTN, FTAN, doing to ease these challenges that you have mentioned right now, ma'am?
Fantastic. Now, FTAN is the Federation of Tourism Associations of Nigeria. I happen to be in the executive. And that is one thing FTAN is currently doing, taking up that responsibility to be able to speak on behalf of the entire tourism associations to government. They now become the connection between the associations and the government, so that what we are yearning for, what we are talking about as, now I'm talking as the tour operator. This is my own challenge as the tour operator. So what FTAN does is listen to what I am saying, because like I said, there is a disconnect. So FTAN has come on board to be able to bridge that gap. And that is what FTAN is doing. It's not something FTAN can do overnight, but it has to, it's something that will, as they constantly engage with government, as they constantly speak with government, then they are able to let government see the challenges of the industry, so that government can come in and then, connect with us where we need their support, where we need their help. And I think they are doing a good job currently. But you see, it's something we need to keep advocating for, because it is something well overdue. And I'm saying this because if you look at what's been happening in the last 1 month, there's been so much happening despite the COVID. And it needs urgent attention. It needs urgent support. It needs urgent, intervention. So I think FTAN is, like I said, that's what FTAN is doing. Okay. You understand? That's what FTAN is, Federation of Tourism Associations of Nigeria. So they are doing that. But I'm saying something, the advocacy must continue so that they can see that this is a very viable sector. I am speaking as a tour operator. FTAN will know what my challenge is and what every other tour operator's challenge is, because like I said earlier on, tour operators are doing an amazing work. In fact, they are doing so much in bringing to fore the tourism potential in Nigeria. They are doing so much.
You're spilling over with passion, and that is what is good about you. You're just spilling over with passion, and I'm so excited, because if I were on that side and you're on this side, I'll be like that. So you said something. You said government is doing a good job. Yes, but please let me add one thing. But there's a big room for improvement, right? True or false? Government is doing a good job, but there's a big room.
I said FTAN is doing a good job. Yes.
Okay.
I said FTAN is doing a good job in trying to bridge that gap.
Okay. But I thought you said our government is doing a good job. Yeah.
But isn't FTAN a government organization? Isn't FTAN a government arm? Isn't it?
No.
Is it?
FTAN no, let me get FTAN are members of tourism associations like you and I. I am in the executive of FTAN, for instance, but I'm a tour operator. So what has happened is, rather than every tourism association, speak at the same time, what we have done is pick up a few people from certain associations, narrow it down, and then you now begin to speak so that they can hear. Because when everybody is speaking at the same time, it becomes noisy. Let me just put it that way. So what we need to do is just keep advocating. keep advocating, because like you were saying, there is a huge disconnect. Very huge.
At this point, let us bring in our guests. You know, I mean, we are Nigerians. She's our South African guest. Let's hear Somto. Somto, what's your experience? You've heard Ime talk, and can you share your experience? How different is it from what she has said? Are there lessons to be learned? South African
experience?
Yes, yes, please, Somto. You need to unmute yourself.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes,
please
we can.
Take it,
yes, we can.
Take it away.
Hi, thank you very much for the invite. Ime's passion is just coming out through, and I can feel it from where I'm sitting in Johannesburg. And and I know how passionate she is about these things. And just a quick brief introduction of myself. I'm Sonto Bonambi, and I have been in the industry for the past 12 years. So I believe I've got quite a bit of experience as an operator. When listening to Ime, and I think of my journey within the tourism industry in the past 12 years, and I can feel the challenges that she's talking about. But fortunately for us in South Africa, or I will speak about myself especially, and at times it's not mostly about me, also about the people that I know as well, who might have also received the same benefit. You know, when you get into the industry like I did in 2008, you find an industry in South Africa that is very well organized, and it's full of, it hasn't transformed, let me put it like that. And you coming as a black player into this big industry, and you need information, you need market insights, you need marketing budget to be able to achieve your desired results, okay? Where we fortunate in is the government in South Africa, that they play a major role in providing that enabling environment for us and providing information for us to be able to do what we need to do. Through different departments, we've got market insight information. Sometimes you don't even need to go to a certain country. You will have the information about that country, what the client or what the guests of those countries actually require. So it makes it easy for you to package and provide them with the experiences that they want. My first the trade show that I attended was in 2008 in Lagos, 2008, 2009. And that was in preparation for the World Cup. There, we were assisted by South African Tourism. They took us there. Obviously, we did pay for the trip, but it was highly subsidized at that time. Yes, the rates were negotiated for accommodation, for the flights, for the hotel, for the transfers, and we had access to I don't know how many travel agencies in Nigeria, you know. So they provided a platform for us to be able to do this. So which is where the assistant actually come from, okay? And
let me ask you quickly. For this is COVID-19, are there further assistance to support you all, knowing that travels have been on the downside?
Yes, for instance, the departments are busy with the recovery plans, okay? So for us as tour operators, some of us are not even involved in formulating the recovery plan, but we are going to certainly benefit from it because it's going to be there for us to access it. So access to information and access to market, they've made it easy for us. And I mean, I'll make an example. There are times we go to West Africa and we will go to Ghana, and in Ghana, we will go to 2 cities, Kumasi, Accra, and go to Nigeria and go to Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt. There you're meeting over 500 agencies that you're selling your packages to. So if you think about it, that on its own, it's very high marketing cost. Which company on its own can be able to achieve that with their own funds? But through the initiatives, we're able to achieve that. So that is why I'm saying for us, it's very easy. Not so easy, but it makes it convenient for us. They provide, they facilitate the environment for us to be able to do business. I mean, we go to, through the Department of, National Department of Tourism, we're able to go to international travel shows. Could be WTM, it could be in Asia, it could be everywhere in the world, but all you need to do is just align yourself. And they have got the market access support programs, which support especially the small, medium, micro enterprises to be able to grow and be competitive and mostly to be sustainable. So from my experience is that, focusing on the government support, they do support our companies a lot,
So what's your relationship? I mean, the tour operators, what's your relationship with Tekiso and the South African tourism?
In Nigeria.
What sort of relationship do you have? Yes.
Okay. I've got a very close relationship with that office, especially since Nigeria is one of my core markets. So we work a lot with them. As you can see, I started going to Nigeria since 2008, and I've been going there almost every year, except for the recent time, but I've been going there all the time, and I've maintained our business relationships through that office. We work a lot with that offices in terms of identifying certain projects that we do with them. So the relationship we have with them is actually very, very close.
The floor is open if there are questions to be asked, because I'm getting ready to also introduce some people from different parts of the world who have joined us. And these are people, a lot of us on this platform can actually benefit from, both tour operators and all the likes. So are there questions on the floor? Efe, do you have something to ask our counterparts who are here? Pelu Awefe, so I saw you. Are you still here? And let me see. So please, the floor is open. Let's ask more questions. Let's talk. Let's share our experiences. How can we make things better? While we're about to do that out there, it will be my honor to introduce some people from the United States of America who took out their time to join us again today. I'm talking about, oh wow, Colonel Brian Sessi. He's the chairman of U.S. Africa Chamber of Commerce. Hello, sir, are you here? Can you just say a word or two? And we'll move on to, we have people from the Bahamas as well.
That's Joe's colleague.
There? Yes. Well, so, okay, you've all, hello. Okay, we also have Dr. Debbie Ballet from the Bahamas. Dr. Debbie, are you still here with us? You all need to mute your mic, to unmute yourselves. Then we have Mr. Alexander of 360 Degrees Wise Media. So if you guys can unmute yourself, you say a quick hello. Dr. Belly already said hello before. So if we can hear from Brian Sessi, Colonel Brian Sessi, Dr. Debbie Ballet from the Bahamas, and Mr. Alexander of
360. Yes. 360 Wise Radio. 360 Wise Radio.
Wise Media.
Oh yeah. They have a radio arm too. Sure. Hello.
Okay. While they're getting ready to say hello, let's move on with
I was going
our conversations.
Hello, Neka. I was going to ask him. Can you hear me? Yes, I was going to ask him. All right. I was going to ask him this very peculiar challenge in the business. I know it is, in this tourism business, it is possible for one tour operator to come up with a wholesale tour, and their colleague could also retail the tour. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. You're right.
When you give a colleague tour to sell, the markup becomes too high. That it becomes, and the sale becomes almost unaffordable. So isn't that it? How do you address that? Do you tell your colleague how much margin to mark up?
Yes. Now, I want to say something. For me, the tour operation industry has been relatively informal in Nigeria. When I mean informal, I mean that come together, come to an agreement on working relationships and partnerships and collaborations. So we are still in that. Yes. So despite the fact that tour operators who are very dynamic, very proactive, very good, but there still needs to be that training, understanding with regards to marketing and pricing of products. So we're still at that stage as tour operators. So, but I think we're getting there, because we'll find out that in Nigeria, for instance, though we do have a lot of tour operators, a lot of them never really focus on tourism as it were. Most people sold tours outside, outbound tours, and that generated a lot of income. So then, looking at the issue of markup and all that didn't really arise. But now that we're looking at inbound tourism and trying to grow the domestic, you find that is where you have more of those issues, where you have the issue of markup and pricing and how do we agree so that, But you see, one thing we all need to understand is that the business of tour operation really doesn't afford as much commission as we should think, especially when we're talking about domestic tourism. The commission and what you earn on domestic tourism isn't as much as what we think. The secret to the success of domestic tourism is numbers, driving numbers. So if we can focus on driving numbers, then it makes the profits for the tour operator easier. And in driving numbers, I'm just going back to what I talked about initially, is where you need the support. So something was talking about the issue of access to markets and being able to reach target markets to be able to market their products to them. Getting the necessary support we need from the relative stakeholders and the governments and agencies that need to help tour operators in that access to market, so that you now drive in market. Now, I think, coming back to your question, I think it will take a while, but I think tour operators will get there. It all has to do with sitting down together, collaboration, discussing and understanding that we're in a new era. We're all looking at growing the domestic market, and this is how we want it to be. It's definitely a bit different from my personal experience. It's probably a bit different from selling the outbound. With the outbound, you have different destinations, you have different places you're selling to. So your pricing is different. You don't have a fixed price for all your market. You have different prices for your different products. Therefore, Nigeria as a destination, you're looking inbound, and then you've got to create products that will suit targets, tourists, targets, audience and things like that. But the issue of pricing, I think that will be corrected as we go on. I think it will be corrected. It's not really not a major issue. I think it will, as we work together, it will all be settled. That's what I believe.
Okay, I think if you're getting to, go ahead.
I'm happy that Ime is finally agreeing with me that tour operations is basically our weakest link. So it's not indicting us, because first and foremost,
you're frozen.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
So I'm happy that Ime is agreeing with me that this is the weakest link. It's not indicting us, because of course, first and foremost, I'm a very proud tour operator. But we have to, for us to grow, we have to understand, our problems and tackle them. And that's why, as Nigeria Travel, we've been having a series of meetings for the past, 6 weeks, discussing with tour operators and looking at these issues, the standards and stuff. Yes, we can get, we would appreciate a lot more support from government. But first and foremost, I think that it starts with us understanding our role and looking at our problems from our own unique, perspectives. We can't solve our problems the way everybody else solves their problem, and we cannot expect to be in the same
circumstances like South Africa or Dubai. So now that we know where we are and our unique circumstances, we must attack our problems from our own unique, with our own unique solutions.
Hold that thought there. Let me just quickly, some of our guests, we are here in Nigeria. These people are foreigners. We have, real quick, let's have, okay, let me see. Mr. Alex of 360 Wise Media. He always has a word for us. And after him, I'll also introduce the others. Mr. Alex, are you still here?
Hello, Alex.
Okay, we'll move on to Sergio Madu. Sergio, are you still here? You just chatted me up a while ago. You're here, right?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And greetings. And I like what I hear, and I can summarize that I hear there is power in leveraging your own asset, whether it is Osun State, River State, South Africa, Dubai. All they are saying here is they are leveraging their own asset holistically, including not only the promoters of tourism, but also the consumers of tourism. Yes, it's very important. We only listen, we've paying so much attention to the promoters, but I want us to also to pay attention to the consumers. We also need to look at all our fragmented assets, particularly those in diaspora. Those are what I call underutilized assets. Okay, marketing has an opportunity cost. I hear South Africa, I hear Dubai, I hear these other countries, I hear His Excellency. Okay, all they are doing right now is marketing their own products. Now the question in reverse is this: consciously or subliminally, how much are we spending to get what we desire? Are we waiting for these tourism to explode without putting our skin in the game? Now, that's the question and the query for another day. But the opportunity right now is I will ask you, Goge Africa, is Dr. Bailey should be on the line, and the chairman of the board for the U.S. Africa Chamber of Commerce, Conor Bryan, is probably on the line. I would like to pass this on to them to make one or two comments. Thank you so much.
Comments.
All right, Sergio.
Conor Bryan, are you there? Dr. Bailey, are you there?
Unmute yourself.
Yeah, Dr. Bailey should be on. Dr. Bailey, unmute yourself, please, and speak. Oh, he wouldn't let you log in. Okay. Conor Bryan, are you there?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see if you could.
Why is he not logging in? He was in.
Yeah.
Hello.
Just information, Dr. Bailey, as you know, is the CEO and the chairman of the board for Borg Investment Bank. And their interest is to really help and provide support financially when it comes to leveraging our dormant assets. Okay? And assets is all inclusive, both material and otherwise, particularly all the assets we are all talked about here. You know, I hear about Osun State talking about, you know, their gold and what have you, their rich culture. All these are assets. Sometimes we think all we can do with these is trade by barter, but we can also do that and in addition to leveraging them to the optimal level. And that's what the Western world do. So that's one area to think about it. Conor Bryan says is all about, again, what I call conscious and subliminal awareness. We must be aware of our environment. We must be aware of our resources. We must be aware of competition. We must also realize we must be aware of technologies that are within our reach. Awareness is so critical. You know, holistically, tourism is not for just you and I. Every stakeholder has a vested interest, from the government, even to the water in the River State dance you mentioned. Every component has to be elevated. So we all have to be on the same page, and we have to demand of every stakeholder to play their own role. Okay? And it's not a passive thing, it's a very active thing. And that's how Jamaica has done it. And
including
that's why,
the government.
Including the government. This is why I had invited Dr. Debbie Bartlett. Debbie Bartlett represents the entire Bahamas. And the reason why they are the #1 in attracting tourism is not an accident.
They have a blueprint for success. So I hope that Debbie Bartlett will be here to speak for herself from what other people are doing. We don't even have to spend so much effort or reinvent the wheel. Do like China and India, plagiarize it.
All right. So Dr. Debbie is not here now, but we will probably at some point bring her or him on the show. Thank you so much, Sergio Madu. It's always a pleasure to hear you speak. You speak with quiet passion for Africa, and we don't take that for granted. Well, Efe, I think we are going to be wrapping up because we've well spent our time. And a lot of us that have been sitting down the whole day. But I think it was worth it. If there's any final word from some of the earlier speakers or anybody else, what would like to say now? It's been a good day, and I think it's worth it. Sir, my CEO.
Yes.
Zach, what do you think?
Honestly, it has been quite very interesting, very interactive. I can see Didier Bayeye is still there, always very committed. I'd like to thank everyone who logged on today. And what we need to do that is to walk the talk. It's all about collaboration. You've heard this. It's not something we can all do by ourselves. As long as Africa is concerned, Africa needs more of our collaboration, all our expertise and what we do. We'll bring it to bear on our tourism space. And believe you me, we'll begin to earn enough tourism dollars to see Africa to the next level. Thank you all very much for showing up. Thank you to Sergio Madu and Bailey and all the diasporan guy he hooked up on the show. Thank you, Stella.
I have a thing. I just noticed somebody I've been looking at all day. I think he has to be Chinese. His name is Shun Long Li. So, Mr. Shun Long Li, if you hear us, can you quickly introduce yourself to the audience? Because your name and your picture shows that you're not from this continent, but we're warm and welcoming. Would like to hear you say a word or two.
And unmute yourself to speak.
Okay, I'm not seeing any action there, but he's been logged on all the, since we started.
I can speak on his behalf. I've been looking for your attention since. Okay, few seconds.
You got my attention.
Few seconds.
Please go ahead.
I actually wanted to say something in terms of Nigeria agents. If I'm not mistaken, 2 or 3 years ago, I raised it in one of the conferences in West Africa. I'm not sure if it has improved because I haven't been in Nigeria in a very, very long time. The last time I was there was November last year. So you can imagine that's very long it has been compared to my normal schedules. So there was an issue in terms of the rate parity of this, a lot of the stakeholders, travel agent to operate local, I mean the Nigerians one. In a sense that when a tourist, like somebody like myself, I'm traveling to Nigeria, no matter how many travel agent and tour operator I know in Nigeria, nobody can get me a better deal than what I'm seeing on booking.com. This is, I don't know if it has improved, fine. That's what I'm saying, I'm not sure. But this for me, it's a serious slower of tourism industry. There is absolutely, and not only that, but it cripples to a point that for tour operator or travel agent, depending on how they call themselves, to make money, they have to build a package on including activities and transport, because generally hotels is just what it is online. What a walk-in guest will get, that is what they give to agent. A lot needs to be done on this, because this is crippling tourism industry in Nigeria.
Either you have not asked me for those rates, so ask me. And I'll give you the best.
Okay, I will ask you.
I was going to ask him, who did you ask?
Oh, who is he asking?
Who did you ask?
I cannot mention the name of a person here. Like I said, it's been a very long time I haven't been in Nigeria. Okay, maybe it has changed. But
it has changed.
The next one, I will definitely, and remember, I researched before. So if you can't get what I get.
So Didier, let me paint a scenario for you. Now, because the average Nigerian business is registered as a travel and tours, you have a lot of people who assume they are tour operators and who will sell anything. For example, if you meet Mr. John, he's ABC Travel and Tours, you ask him, do you sell Lagos or Nigeria? He tells you yes. He goes to Mr. B and ask him the same question, he says yes. And so sometimes you may have gotten that rate from the 5th generation of tour, you know. So you have a lot, you probably may have been speaking to travel agents who are passing through a chain to get to the final tour operator. So you must know who the real tour operators are. And to be very frank, the actual real domestic and inbound tour operators in Nigeria are very, very few. They're not as many as you think. So you must know them to work with them. And that's what we're trying to do, to get these guys to come out in the open and to be more vocal and to work more with travel agents so that they become more visible, just like you have them in South Africa and every other destination.
Thanks. Madam Neka,
Oui, ça va.
He just popped a message. Mr. Lee, you were looking for.
Yes.
Yes, yes, that's what he said. That it's 2 a.m. and I totally understand that. And we appreciate his dedication and interest. Yeah, 2 a.m. is more than bedtime. I'm like halfway gone. Okay. So I think on that note,
hello,
Hassan, let's hear from you, Hassan. Oh, okay. Somto.
Okay.
Yes, I wanted to ask one thing. You know, having been doing so much business in Nigeria since 2008, I've always thought I want to take South Africans into Nigeria. I mean, I had an experience to visit Obudu, you know, and I loved Obudu. I fell in love with it, you know, and I wanted to package it. But now the problem was accessibility to Obudu. You know, how do you access the Obudu easily, you know, for people not to find it so tiresome? Because if I remember the drive to Obudu from, which was from Calabar, it took us hours to drive there. But when I got there, I found a gem of a place. And I said, few places are like this, you know, in the world that I've seen, you know, having traveled in a whole lot of countries. And I fell in love with Obudu. And I was so eager to come back to South Africa and sell it.
Could you sell it?
But now, what about accessibility? What do I do about that? You know, going back to what Didier said as well, I've tried to create packages. You know, I always say weddings in Nigeria, they're cultural. You know, it's something one can package. You know, there's so much wealth of culture in Nigeria that you can package. But now, when we do try and put packages together, they're just too high in such a way that our markets can. So I hear what Effie is saying, that it depends who you're talking to, you know, with regards to that. Maybe we need to relook and revisit that and see how we can also promote, you know, Nigeria to South Africans.
Thank you.
A whole lot of educational experience.
Can I say something before we go?
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Hello?
Yeah, Tonto, I heard you. Didier, I heard you. I want us to understand that Nigeria as a tourism destination. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah. Now, in our tourism in Nigeria, I would say that it's still a work in progress. I'm saying this because we still need to connect the entire value chain. We still need to understand why the hotelier needs the tour operator, the transporter needs the tour operator, the restaurant person needs the tour operator. Because when that connection is formed, then you understand that the synergy now brings about reduced rates. You know, so like I would say to you, there are future operators who are currently enjoying that. Just like if we said earlier on, it depends on who you're talking to. You're talking to a travel agent. The travel agent eventually comes back to a tour operator, and then there will be that markup. But like I said earlier on, I think we're getting there. And then talking about the issue of accessibility, Now that goes beyond the tour operator, as it were. That this is where, we need to engage and advocate, with government. Because to be able to sell a destination, you need them to do their part. We talked about a group that is fantastic. We all talk about a group that is fantastic. But then the issue of is still time. So I just want us to be very patient. It's still a work in progress, and I want us to say that we are getting there. The challenge for us as tour operators, we can't deny the fact. We want to ensure that through this medium we are able to bridge that gap, and I believe that that's what we're trying to achieve here. They're able to see the value in partnership with the tour operator and with every other value chain, so that so when next you're bringing because we need you to bring your people into Nigeria. Didier, we need you to come experience Nigeria, and then we go back.
Thank you.
We have a question for you, Mrs. Semin. We have a question for you. It's please hold on, ma. Let me just because person is asking me to ask you. What is NATOP doing to change this narrative? What is NATOP's core objective as to domestic tourism and inclusion? This was from Tony.
NATOP is the National Association of Tour Operators. And the body, like you said, if I said something earlier on, we're not too many of us, and that's the truth. When I mean we're not too many of us, we're not too many people who are passionate about selling the destination Nigeria. So NATOP, as it were, is still, currently we have a lot of tour operators who are coming together and strengthening our bond to be able to sell Nigeria as a destination. That's what we're doing. We're identifying ourselves, trying to pick ourselves, people of like mind. We are still in that process. We're not like South Africa, where you have it all perfected, all regulated. We still for us, we're still there. You understand? It's for us. It's time. It's for us right now in Nigeria. NATOP, it is a time of bonding. It's a time where we're coming together, picking everyone with like minds, trying to build ourselves, build on our leverages, build upon what each person has and what each person knows, what each person's strength is. So that is what NATOP currently is doing. So that tomorrow, when NECA calls for a meeting like this, then we have more tour operators on board who are now going to be able to sell the destination, and then the narrative, is different. We just change the story and change the narrative. So that's currently what NATOP is trying to do. We're still trying to strengthen our bond. But then, if you look around, if you go on Instagram, you see a lot of tour operators. They may not be members of NATOP right now, but you see a lot of tour operators very passionate and selling Nigeria as a destination. Everyone's looking inward, and I'm sure you would agree with me. So that's really what's going on here. That's really what's going on right now. So NATOP is still in that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ime. Thank you very much, Ime, and all the other speakers. You guys have been so passionate, and you've done justice to the reason we are here today. I'd also like to thank our diasporan friends who hooked on, the guys from China, Bahamas, and the Honorable DG for NTDC. We thank all of you, and we hope to walk the talk and carry on from where we stopped. And also don't forget that we have the tourism-friendly banks who, like Ime explained, you guys can actually reach out to Sterling Bank or Union Bank. They have put out some money for stakeholders to access where there are challenges in the tourism value chain, so that they can at least give you a facility at little or no cost, like they explained. So thank you all very much. We'd like to thank His Excellency, the Ambassador of Ethiopia to Nigeria. Thank you so very much, sir, for being on. And we'd also like to thank the gentleman from Ethiopia who spoke about investment in Ethiopia. It's a pleasure and a privilege to have you on our web seminar.
And Stella for speaking so very well, and we learned so much from her presentation. And Tekiso, there's so much Nigeria.
Soto.
And
Bayeye Didier. Efe Tobore. Thank you.
And
Ime.
The princess.
And
our River State brother, Ibo.
Ibo, you need to see Ibo make that second move.
I should have brought the video on.
You guys.
It's really good having all of you, and we hope to see you the next time we call on you. But let's collaborate. That's the essence of this platform. Let's collaborate. Let's work together to make Africa better and bigger.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Yay.
Thank you, Neka. Thank you,
Thank
you,
you.
Neka. Thank you,
you.
Neka and the call. We really appreciate, we're grateful.
Who's that?
Oh, that's Mr. Okay, no. What's your name, sir?
I am Mercuria. I'm a counselor at the Embassy of Ethiopia, Abuja.
He's from where?
From Ethiopia.
Ethiopia Embassy,
wow.
Abuja. Yeah, Neka, she's my friend in Twitter. I was I was following. I'm following. I really appreciate. Thank you. Okay, bye. Bye.
Hi, everyone. It was really nice. It was a great event.
Nana, thank you.
No, thank you. No, you were awesome there in the chat room.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Goge, uza wa Goge, uza wa Goge. Aye.